pads. Throw them dukes up. Niggas saying do something. We from the Duke, what? I'm with the Lobos with pistols like an Aggie. Bang, city colors, baby mama can't stand me. Whole family, every night's the same. Red and yellow up, looking like the lights.
The Beatdown with Friends Live from Dapper Barber Parlor for UFC 301 and Canelo Alvarez's fight as well. Boxing match. I have Mika Frankl from CageMinds.com, Michael Carlyle. Mika, you interviewed a few of these guys. Tell us a little bit about that.
So good evening, everybody. UFC 301 main card getting started. Middleweights right off the bat. Caio Borralho versus Paul Craig. Caio, someone that we actually, for MMA After Hours, that we got to talk with last year at International Fight Week, me and Michael Carlyle.
Yeah, interesting guy. He comes in as a big favorite against Paul Craig. I wouldn't sleep on Paul Craig, though. I don't think he wins, but every time I count Paul Craig out, he somehow finds a way to win.
Did Drake bet on him?
That's a good question.
Because if he did, chances are...
I think Drake has bigger problems.
Oh wait, is he in some beef or something again with somebody?
I don't know.
They were arguing about whose house was bigger. It was the worst rap beef ever. This is where we're at, guys. From actual street beef to whose house is bigger.
We get softies in the NBA. Go New York Knicks! Closed out Philly!
That's crazy.
It's about time. We're in the first fight, 301. Who's the curtain jerker for the main card?
Yes, Caio Borralho, Paul Craig. These are both jiu-jitsu fighters. Paul, someone that had a lot of success, 205 pounds, has dropped down to 185. He's an agitator. He's known for having the blue Scottish face paint, war paint, across his face at the weigh-ins, and literally tries to agitate his opponents into a confrontation at the weigh-ins. And we appear that we're a little delayed also. The commission is removing ankle socks.
Well, I am surprised he was even able to walk out. That means the commissioners, which I get, they're in Brazil, the commissioners in the back aren't doing their job.
Well, it's also, I think there is, a C, MMA, B. There's some kind of commission authority there. It's not the UFC just overseeing their own event like it used to be in some international territory.
That's how a long time ago I was. I didn't even know they had a commission come in now.
Yeah, no, I believe that they have like a legit one. They at least have legit little patches and stuff on their shirts.
Michael, while they're doing the delay, speaking of athletic commissions, you broke news on your social that the Athletic Commission, and make sure I'm saying it correctly, our New Mexico Athletic Commission has not PED tested anybody since COVID. Is that correct?
Not since we resumed from COVID.
From COVID.
Resumed from COVID. So that's basically saying that
March 2020.
at UFC Rio Rancho, there was PED tests. That's what it would allude to me, because I think that was like the last event.
That's right. It was because I was in St. Louis.
Right, and then we got shut down.
Yeah.
So ever since we've restarted since then,
What was their reasoning?
it seems to be some kind of weird oversight that no one's bought the test or
Time out.
given the.
It's
like,
an over. Hold on. It's oh my
Thank
God.
you.
You mean we haven't been testing all this? Oh my! How did this slip through the cracks? Really?
They've been testing for recreational.
Micah. Now you're making me sound like I'm talking to my son Micah, and I tell him Micah boy, and I'm shaking my head.
I'm giving you the facts. How bad it is.
Oh.
It can't be overstated.
And
how bad that is.
It's not to spank the commission. Fighters, I'm telling you right now, use a little bit of your noggin and the little bit of brains that are in there. He's sharing with you what's coming ahead. Guys, don't get caught. Please understand they're going to start testing. Red light, red light, red light, red light. We're warning you.
Well, I mean, there's always a chance they forget to start testing.
We're in New Mexico. I wouldn't put it past this commission.
We're supposed to look at it.
Now, what's going on with marijuana that you could share with us? Because it's legal state. It's illegal federally. This is a state-run commission. It should be clear as crystal clear water, not clear as mud like it is.
It's muddy. They don't know what they're doing, and at least for the month of May, I don't believe we have any combat sports events, boxing or wrestling, that will need these kind of tests or any bare knuckle. So there's supposed to be a plan for the PEDs and the marijuana testing put together and proposed at the next meeting on June 4th. So that would be in time before we have another actual fight, but it would only be days before, because I believe we do have a June 8th boxing / amateur bare knuckle boxing.
Hey, let's talk about that. Is that New Mexico Athletic Commission sanctioned?
Yes, that is, because I did not know about the amateur bare knuckle portion until I was at the commission meeting.
How is it that promoter that didn't pay their fighters, from what I've been told by some fighters, is able to throw another event?
I have not been able to get that direct question answered. It seems, if you follow the red,
Or did the insurance pay it?
that the person of question who is the partner in that whole
the
situation has
loophole.
taken the brunt of the punishment for it, and it looks like Teresa Tapia will be allowed to keep promoting events, even though her most recent attempts at a pro card and amateur cards have fallen apart.
Well,
this one is approved.
They got the right main event. If it's Donald Sanchez.
Donald Sanchez, I was told, is in the main event. I was not told who would be the opponent. And that was from the commission, not from the promotion.
Speak your mind, Mr. Carlyle.
Haven't there been other instances of
Yes.
fighters not getting paid on her cards?
Yes.
Not just that one?
Yes.
That you're referring to that,
Yes.
that the co-promoter was kind of taking the fall for?
Oh, if you're insinuating that there might be like a pattern here,
Well, no, there's stories out there. I don't know. I don't know,
for sure.
and I'm not pretending to know, but I'm just saying, I've heard stories since then.
I will say I've seen other promoters that didn't pay, they lose their license.
I'll tell you, about a year after the situation, I was in the same arena for a bare knuckle event. She was on one side of the arena, and I ran into Jason and Jose Luis Sanchez on the other side of the arena. Kind of just said, hey, so you guys got your pay, right, from that? And they said, no, they've still never been paid from that Triller event that Teresa was part of. That was at least Jose Luis and Jason.
That was the worst pay-per-view I ever seen, and I watched it. And I'm not trying to knock it. It's just, wow.
Right.
What do you think about Canelo versus Oscar De La Hoya? Because that seemed to be the hype.
It's a shame that that's the kind of levels that they have to go to sell the fight. How do you know Munguia isn't ready for the fight? They don't even say his name or acknowledge him in the hype up. The hype is about the boxer and his beef with his former promoter and wanting to take it out on that promoter's protege, but the protege and the promoter both see a big payday.
I tell you what, that meat shirt that he wore to the weigh-ins was hilarious, because that's where he got popped for PEDs. At least that's what he said. It was the Mexican meat,
Right.
the cow or whatever. So we're in the first round. What are you guys seeing so far?
Well, interestingly enough, nothing to do with the fight so far, but so we saw him cutting off Mahalo's
And he's still wearing
ankle
them.
brace. He turned it inside outwards and put it back on. So that they cut it enough so we could slide it off and they just put it back on.
Maybe it was the tape.
Maybe there was
Maybe,
tape
maybe.
inside. Maybe there was a logo displayed.
See,
Both of those could draw
and this is where I say
attention.
Paul Craig's money.
What's that, I'm sorry?
The ground.
Oh.
Paul Craig is money. That the triangles that he does, the jiu-jitsu. If this hits the floor again, whether he's on bottom or on top, I put my money on him.
Kaio, also a very good black belt.
But levels.
There are different levels to this. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and you saw Kyle
Yeah.
no part of
Nope.
it. Nope.
Black belt versus black belt, and it's two different.
I think if Kaio
Oh!
is a half guard,
That black belt and punching him in the face though.
he's wanted to prove, even since we talked to him last summer, that he wasn't a one-dimensional fighter. Because if you saw his first couple fights, he was, I'm taking your back and I'm going to punish you for 15 minutes in this position.
Jose Aldo, he's fighting out his contract, correct? Am I correct on that?
I think he's counting tonight. I think he's got 2 fights left on the contract.
Really? And I heard this is it.
It may be.
They might have made a deal so they could sell seats.
Oh, I'm sure
Yeah.
they made a deal to sell seats. I heard he is in the 7-figure realm for his payday for this fight. much like Jorge Masvidal was to save UFC 251.
Could you imagine him in bare knuckle?
Jose Aldo?
Yes.
That would be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Well, I want to also see him tonight.
He looked good in the boxing matches that I saw him, and you have to look at the level of competition. But
Yeah.
one of those was Jeremy Stevenson, so it's not like he really leveled down going to the boxing. I mean, a couple of his Shuto boxing matches, little lower guys from Brazil, but that also is, we don't know the guys.
So we have Teresa Tapia's boxing / amateur bare knuckle, which is going to be interesting. I think that's going to be. I don't know if you should do bare knuckle as an amateur.
So interesting. It's bare knuckle rule set, but they will be wearing protection for these fights.
So
it
that
is
it's not bare
4 ounce
knuckle.
MMA gloves. So they're calling it amateur bare knuckle.
So
to at least get
it's
them used-
boxing and MMA
It's
gloves.
boxing and MMA gloves with the expanded clinch.
Okay,
so
but
that's fine.
that's better than them doing amateur bare knuckle boxing. I don't think they'd make it to the pros, to be honest with you.
I think one of the questions exactly. One of the questions they had was just were they going to do 4 or 6 ounce gloves for the which MMA gloves they were going to use for the amateur series. They've been doing it in Florida also already
With the gloves?
with the 4 ounce gloves.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah, that's it's the Extreme Bare Knuckle fans page has been helping put it on, so it's like the amateur prospect series. That's what they call it.
And then we have Top Rank coming in.
Top Rank Boxing has announced an August 10th biggest event since I've been covering boxing here.
Where's it
locally.
going?
It looks like it's going to be Tingley Coliseum, and it's going to be...
Angelo Leo isn't a big enough draw here in New Mexico. He's been gone for so long.
It seems like a risky move. I didn't even know who Luis Alberto Lopez was
Yeah.
until I heard his name, and I had to look him up on BoxRec to announce the fight. Angelo Leo, the win streak has been nice, obviously deserves
Beautiful.
recognition, but
But he hasn't been in New Mexico actively fighting.
Jorge Hernandez was doing a live on his IG, and Angelo jumped in there and said, yeah, I've only fought 2 times in my career as a pro in Albuquerque.
At
And
Buffalo
it's
Thunder.
4 times at Buffalo Thunder.
Yep.
So his debut was, I believe, the Crown Plaza. He was at the Convention Center once. He's been at Buffalo Thunder a bunch of times and fought in Mexico and Vegas more than New Mexico, really. So that's going to be a hard sell from a marketing
And
standpoint.
I actually thought he was special when I first saw him, and I first saw him at Buffalo Thunder when I was part of their commission. I think he can be a world champion. I think it's smart when these guys like Brian Mendoza, when they leave New Mexico. If you're right at the cusp, you have to get out of here. There's too many people here, too many distractions, I should say.
Right.
And we seen that with Johnny. You know, he had to keep getting out of here. When he stayed here, he'd get in trouble. Danny fell to it as well and trickled out. If I was a coach, a promoter, a manager of a fighter, I would try and get them out to Vegas. It seems like the hot spot to be. Did you get a chance to see Max Holloway's interview with Joe Rogan?
Real quick, we're through the first round. I'll give the first
Yeah.
one to Holloway. He had some strong 1-2s. Max Holloway, which part of the interview? I've seen a couple comments that he's throwing daggers out there at Taporia. Taporia kind of seems to be ducking a lot of fights. Keeps trying to angle for like a bigger fight, but he has everybody's attention already.
Is it a bigger fight for him to fight Taporia, or is it a bigger fight to wait and see if Conor wins and match those two together? I think that's money. I think that's huge money.
I think it's huge money. I don't think it happens. Because A, if you wait for Conor to win, you might be waiting a really, really long time. And while I like that fight for Max, I don't know that Conor would have interest in that.
It's a money fight for him.
So it would be a third Diaz fight. And,
Yeah.
And it feels like at any point in time, UFC can bring Nate back for that fight whenever they decide to do it. Depending on what happens with Conor and Chandler, you might not have too many more opportunities.
What about Masvidal? Because he mentioned in the press conferences that the UFC is letting him do these boxing matches.
Yeah.
He's still under contract.
I think Jorge probably fits somewhere in that Diaz-McGregor mix, but I don't know that I really see him fighting anybody else in UFC other than someone like that. I don't know what you think about that, Mike. I could be very wrong, but I just see him as more of an attraction.
I think he's gonna beat up Nate and then go back to the UFC.
Maybe.
It's gonna be a money fight, but I don't know who.
Nate looks very disinterested in fighting and just hanging out right now. So you tell me that Jorge wants to fight more and he's going to go win it. I believe that, but I see them both still as superstars. But knowing that their press tour was going to be 2 hours later than what it was, I opted to go to the PFL rather than waiting for their press conference at a hotel in Vegas. So I just don't know what the appetite of them being stars is versus. They both kind of
Micah,
started to get to the end
pause.
of the leash. Kyle Bahalia, straight punch,
Finished.
backed up Paul Craig, and the knockout. Brazil on fire in Brazil.
I guess it's not that weird of a venue now that I'm looking at it more closely instead of getting dressed or moving around with the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We had
I
to
would
get,
say it is a little bit different how they have like the box seating
Yeah.
in the rows.
was it the last event that they didn't have a big crowd and you could see empty seats?
Yes.
It was, right? And,
But it was sold out.
yeah. Oh, I love the paper tickets.
Yeah.
That was like us telling everybody we had, what do we have, 15,000 or no, I'm sorry, we had 6,000 at Santa Ana Star Center when Holly fought there. We did not. We gave away almost 30,000 tickets. And now I can say that. We used to give stacks away to the radio stations, to anybody that wanted them. I used to hand them out to just anybody that wanted them. And people would be like, "You're giving us free tickets?" Yeah, here you go.
You gotta have butts and seats.
Yeah, but that's why they're at where they're at. What do you think about Gegard saying that PFL doesn't pay their fighters shit? And that's why he's sitting on the sidelines.
Oh, I think that it's not that they don't pay shit, it's that they have a lot of fighters that their contracts are already equal so that they're not equivalent to shit. And his is like a six-figure contract, and they're not trying to pay out on six-figure contracts.
So then how are they getting
got a lot of
Aaron
guys.
McKee, because he's got a big contract. You have that kid that trains here. Oh, well, he's not a kid no more. Pico has a big contract.
Brothers, they got big contracts. So I think they're picking and choosing,
And Gegard's boring.
Gegard's old.
Gotcha.
I think you said that, right, Carlyle?
I think it has more to do with, and this is why it was such a bad idea to buy Bellator. Wait, let them close, grab who you want. You got a lot of guys you don't have a use for. And that's no disrespect to Gegard, but he's not going to make or break PFL, so why pay him that money?
But you're not going to send him to Israel for the Bellator weird shit to me, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, if he would fight for a decent price, or I'm sure they'd love to renegotiate that contract. Give him some more fights, but let's do it for less money.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him either. Hey, I signed a contract. I'm not paying less money.
When I heard him say that, I thought about the WCW wrestlers that sat out when WWF bought them.
Right, right,
and they
right.
said, "Hey, our contracts ain't with that company. Our contracts are with Time Warner." It's kind of the same thing, right? I'm assuming.
You either take a buyout for pennies on the dollar, and then you can go wrestle wherever, or you sit at home and Time Warner has to pay you all that money.
Yeah.
And those guys, those big names you were talking about, we're talking millions of dollars.
Oh yeah, and they waited out until they're done, and then they came in.
Yep.
It's interesting. Micah, you work with the professional wrestling, and why I'm bringing this up, CageMinds.com, the #1 site for combat sports news and sports entertainment news. So they do both. That's why I'm talking. Cal, how do you say his name?
Kyle Bahalia.
Kyle is talking and interviewing. Highlight the professional wrestling here in the state of New Mexico for us.
The landscape of professional wrestling overall right now in New Mexico is booming more than combat sports, any of the varieties. Grappling, MMA, boxing, Duke City Championship Wrestling, at least one Thursday a month is at the El Rey Theater on the 25th, I believe, of May. It's their 1-year anniversary show. Rio Rancho recently just welcomed in Phase 1 Pro Wrestling, and I believe it was just 2 Sundays ago where Game Changer Championship Wrestling made their first debut in the state at the Dirty Bourbon on a Sunday. Not to mention the
Wow, Dirty Bourbon.
the Micro Wrestling, I believe.
Yeah, they went to the convention center.
They've been to the convention center. They've been to the Clovis Convention Center. When they come to the state, they'll do 3 shows around the state. And I also believe that there's a El Paso group that comes over that's more of a lucha libre based style as well. So there's at least 4 different companies that are making New Mexico a frequent on their calendar.
So it is a lot more than the combat sports right now.
It really is.
How is the fan base?
It's devoted. When you look at, I believe that for the Phase 1 show, they said they sold out, Game Changers sold out. They each did around 200, 300 tickets. And
That's better than most combat sports events here that I've seen.
Championship Wrestling, I don't know how many are sold, but they're usually packing in about 400 to 500 bodies at the El Rey. It's hard to move around in there.
Thiago Alves retires after getting knocked out. What's your thoughts on it?
He came back for a money grab for 1 fight, and BKFC looked at it as they needed a name to take on Mike Perry, and they reached in that Rolodex and found a guy that took a much bigger payday than what he was getting the first time he fought.
And explain the 2 ahead of him that they wanted.
They wanted to do Darren Till. They wanted to do Anthony Pettis. It looks like the angles are still to make that Darren Till fight happen. They're going back and forth vigorously in social media against each other, even making it a little personal. So that's where it would seem that BKFC is going to go.
Mike, over under on Connor making a difference as a face of BKFC.
It's hard to quantify, but I want to say the under only because if anybody's expecting him to actually fight BKFC, I don't think that happens. But much like, and TFL took some crap when they signed Jake Paul basically to be a media ambassador. I mean, really, that's what if you're BKFC, that's really what you're getting out of Conor McGregor, and that's not a bad thing.
So you mean to tell me Jake Paul's not serious when he's saying he wants to fight Jorge or Nate in MMA?
In MMA, no. I don't believe that will ever happen. And maybe he decides to prove me wrong one day. But again, look, that's fine. The Paul brothers, say what you want about them. Say what you want about their boxing careers and the types of fighters they box. They're going to bring eyeballs.
Yeah.
And if you have a plan in place to maximize the eyeballs they bring, then it can be mutually beneficial. Now, I'm not sure if UFL does with Jake, and we'll have to see what BKFC does with Conor. But yeah, if you expect Conor to fight out his UFC contract and you'll have the BKFC fights, I don't think that ever happens. But I think there are a lot of other things he can do to help the company.
Oh, but I expect him to tease it every moment that he's in front of a
100%.
camera.
He's getting his money.
To make them BKFC headlines pop.
Now, I just lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something. Oh, the rules. Texas Athletic Commission. Thank you guys for proving me correct. Money talks, bullshit walks with the Texas Commission. Approved a pro fight for Mike Tyson. Almost 60 what? 60?
57.
Okay, he's almost 60 years old.
Almost 60 years old.
And it's funny because we were talking about that last week. How are they going to fill that stadium for an amateur fight? Really, nothing's changed as far as my question with that. But yeah,
I don't think they can.
I don't either. But the fact that, and don't throw anything at me when I say this, a legitimate athletic commission.
No, they're not.
I know. But the fact that an athletic commission can sanction that fight as a professional fight for a 58-year-old man and a YouTube influencer, social media influencer, that's a head scratcher to me.
They're equal to New Mexico because they put brother versus brother. Remember that? New Mexico approved it for Cruces or Clovis. Clovis, New Mexico.
I've seen it in Canada also, so we're the holy crazy one.
I know, but I'm just saying, there's more dumb athletic commissions that I scratch my head and I'm like, how did you guys get your jobs? Like, I love the fact that Frank Trigg is a ref. He sees things that maybe somebody that hasn't fought will miss.
We need more of that. And I think you said this last week as well. More of that and more former fighters as judges.
Yeah. Get in there, guys. Get in there. If you're a former fighter, you get a little bit of cash. I mean, it's not much, but get in there if you want to see. What are you seeing?
We're live for UFC 301. It's in Brazil. There's a Shogun montage. So I'm guessing that the former pride in UFC.
He's going to get into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. We got the email?
You should have the email.
We have the email. It is official. We have the nice little picture to throw on social media and put out there in a moment for all of you guys. That Dan Henderson Shogun who will fight.
Getting knocked out almost.
All time. They were both knocked out into that fight. That fight was probably over 3 or 4 times.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the greatest all time. Maybe just the fights going into the.
You know what, Dan
They've only
Henderson.
got one fight in though that they've announced.
So
Would they do 2 fights?
I'm guessing we're just getting Shogun.
No. I think we're getting. I think you're right. I think we're getting the fight, but that seems a little odd because just a couple of weeks ago when they announced Chael Sonnen and Anderson Silva, that fight going on.
Well, they're getting asses in the seat for the Hall of Fame during
Anderson Silva finally said he's not showing up, so I guess they're just going to give Chow his own plaque. And I think Shogun's getting his own plaque. They're not really talking about Henderson anymore.
You could be right.
In his heyday, though, the guy was a beast. I don't think people realize that he was kind of already depleted from knee injuries when we started to get to see the version of him that even won a UFC title. Was not the best Shogun that there ever was. And that was evident from how John Jones just took him apart afterwards. But yeah, here we are. Congratulate the Hall of Famer.
And you know what? That's great that their UFC is doing this for the Pride guys. Because for a while there, they shit on Pride, they shit on King of the Kids, they shit on... He always shits on Bellator and now PFL. But to see these guys come over, I think it's awesome. Now they need to start bringing in those WEC guys. I know some of them transitioned, but you got Miguel Torres. He was a legit dude.
Oh my gosh. Pound for pound, #1 for so many years. And then was it the Brian Bowles fight when he fell off? All of a sudden it was never the same.
Yeah. I think he got into some little bit of legal troubles at that time and lost focus, and it just never was the same.
Yeah, there was also something about a man.
Yeah, ooh, Micah, I love it. It's a good thing it's the Beatdown with Friends live podcast. Where are we live at, Josh?
Dapper Barber Parlor.
And what social medias are we live on?
We are live on YouTube and Twitter, or X.
X/Twitter. We were supposed to be on Dapper's Facebook page, but Barber Dom, it was his birthday yesterday, and they stole him like he was the wife at a Mexican wedding, or the husband at the Mexican wedding, and he's out there. He said it's dying down, but he's slurring. So hurry up and come back, man, so we can make fun of you. Next fight on this card.
All right, well, we went from the middleweight division to we are going to the middleweight division. It's now Michel Pereira versus Igor Pretoria, and I'm pretty sure, without even looking at the betting line, Michel is going to be a massive favorite, 7-fight win streak. And the Ukrainian fighter is being brought back to Brazil because he's the one that knocked out Shogun in Shogun's retirement fight in Brazil, and now they're going to watch a Brazilian knock him out there and make everything even.
Mr. Carlyle?
Pereira, the biggest favorite on the main card, minus 625. I would be shocked if he didn't win. And not just because he's a favorite. I like him a lot, so we'll see how this one goes.
Especially moving up to 185 pounds. Like when we saw him here live in front of us in Albuquerque trying to make 100.
Weight clips have not been his strength, yeah.
Yeah, just depleted him way too much. Better athlete, more energy, more explosive.
Look at that, seat's empty.
And
They're not going to show that side again. The producer is yelling in the truck. Never show that one again. Oh man, have you been in those trucks before, Micah? In the back?
No, I've never been in one of those.
They cuss each other out when something goes wrong. Oh my gosh! Go to 2, go to 3, go to 4. Come back to 1. What's going on in the crowd? Oh my goodness, man! Those guys come out drenched, like sweating. They go back to the hotel. They go to bed. Like those guys in the truck, they work their asses off. But so do the cameramen, because the producer's yelling at the cameraman, get off that crowd fight, do this, do that. He's cussing down, and they're telling him in their ear, like, how do you tell a guy? He's grabbed my mic. Like, well, what do you do? You know, it's interesting. Micah, any other? Oh, nowhere to run, our friend.
Looks like Nick Gonzalez, our friend who joined us live for the first Beatdown.
Grumpy Pants, that event.
June 15th, you'll be having more amateur kickboxing and Muay Thai in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Most likely, I'm guessing, taking place again from Overtime Bar and Grill.
And tonight he's doing the Brawl on the Basket, Cops versus Firefighters. They're using his ring. He set up all that stuff for them, so good for him.
Yeah, they have the charity event going
It's over
on
at
at Revel
Revel.
Center.
Well, you can't beat 4 Walls. And that's how he's getting all the concerts. That's how he's getting all the people. 4 Walls, shit. I'll take the ticket money. You keep the beer money, go for it. That's where he's going to kill every venue here. Except for Atlanta Amphitheater, of course. Unless he can buy that back lot right there where the beach water park was at.
Right.
Still the bigger concerts in Revel than I expected when I first saw it
Sure.
being built. And looking at the size of that parking lot, like see Kevin Gates go there, AWOL Nation. I was like,
Have you seen it when their people are actually parking? They park in Costco. They park at the food, Shamrock Food,
I can imagine the
Express Scripts, all the way to Topgolf.
I can see it just eating up that entire neighborhood. There's just no way to park the amount of people you put in that.
And what's crazy is they're building a go-kart track in that dirt, so it's going to be less parking lot.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But it'll be a nice little event center.
That's great.
Micah, any other events locally coming up? Any local fighters that we should be on the lookout?
I know that there's a ton of local boxers. Catherine Renee Lindenhughes is going to go up to Canada to fight a 2-time world champion here shortly.
What about the Puerto Rican kids, the ones that are amateurs, that are real good here?
Well, actually, Shariah's 2-0 as a professional.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't even know that.
Just the other night, she was a part of the winning Philadelphia team in the Team Combat League. She's already done that 2 times.
Explain that to everybody, because I don't even get it.
All right, so there's a Team Combat League format out there where it's a 12-round boxing match, and each team has 12 fighters. And you match your fighters up with the other team's fighters in the appropriate weight class, and everyone fights 1 round. And then you have a winner somehow of which team won more rounds.
And correct me if I'm wrong, is this Francis Ngannou's coach? Is this his league?
I'm not sure who owns the league. I know I've seen Austin Trout be a coach. He even fought around one time. I've seen people from BKFC jumping in there to fight around. I've seen boxers, high-level boxers. I'm really not sure all the odds and ends, inner workings of everything, or even where you can watch it. It's, I think, just on YouTube right now.
Will it survive?
I don't know. It's something different, but it's hard to say what's going to survive and catch on and what's not for boxing.
I am surprised at the growth rate of BKFC. You because we were just watching UFC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yesterday here in the shop. It took a long time for the wheels to start going. And it feels like BKFC all of a sudden just, they were in Wyoming for a little bit, doing a bunch of shows there, and then in gymnasiums. If you look back, they really were in gymnasiums, folks. And then now they just exploded. How did they grow so fast?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think they are what people wanted the celebrity boxing to be, the Jake Paul versus, because you get to see. I look, your Mike Perry's little people, draw eyeballs. But then you realize there are a lot of really good fighters in here. Hey, this is really cool. It's not boxing. It's not MMA. It's its own thing, but it's similar enough. I can identify with it. And I think they've done a good job of maximizing the name people they brought in. Whereas I think you burned that out with like your celebrity boxing stuff to a large degree.
That's his brother, right? That does the celebrity boxing.
Yeah, Dave Feldman, the owner.
Holy shit!
That's right, yeah.
Michael Spinks. They couldn't even turn to face off each other. Michael Spinks and I think it was Buster Douglas. Hey, did you guys see that? That they were going to fight each other.
They were, yeah. It's not that they were going to.
He said, "Face off, gentlemen." It was like, oh my gosh! It was like 2 minutes of them trying to turn from the camera
Right.
to face off each other. I was like, what? They're not even going to hit each other.
So, to further the point, you can be same as, less than, greater than, different than. I think, like you would assume PFL would be further along than BKFC is because they are different than. I think a lot of people are having issues with
I don't like the team.
format. Which I don't think was a bad idea, but I don't think it's connecting. BKFC is different than, but the way they're different than seems to be connecting with the fan base.
What's their ceiling? Can they reach UFC heights?
I don't know if that's their goal. I mean, look, obviously you want to keep growing and being as big as you can, but I don't know if they sit there and look. I want to be as big as UFC. I want to take down Dana White. I think.
Not that they wanted-
to be number 2 in the combat sports landscape. I think you'd be very happy with that.
Not that they want to take down Dana White. I don't think they do. I don't think he does at all. But to have that growth where now you're talking TV deals, 30 billion, 40 billion, 50 billion, that growth.
And the other part of that is that will help their growth in some UFC is the continued decline of boxing. And I know we've got Canelo coming up later, but as more and more of those fans get disenfranchised and they're looking for another combat sports outlet, UFC's certainly benefited from that, and I think BKFC is hugely benefiting from that.
Yeah. Michael.
BKFC fully believes they can be and are aiming to be the second biggest combat sports promotion in the world. I think that they look at the UFC with
I think they are already number 2.
and they are aiming for the
I think they already are number 2. Who's bigger than them? In the United States, who's bigger than
As a
them?
company,
One bullshits and says that they're losing money every event. There's nobody in the stands. PFL, I don't think they're going to survive this year. I think they did a poor move by buying Bellator, and I agree with you. They should have let it expire and go after them. Get them at your pennies for the dollar.
Yeah, look, they got money coming in from the Saudis, so as long as that's there, that will help fund them. But I don't like their business. I don't like their business model at all.
Do you guys remember that? And I can't even think off the top of my head. It was a fight league that used to be on, like
IFL?
yes, on My 50 TV, and they had teams from different
I
regions.
love that.
It didn't last because people don't understand it. I'm going to tell you the downfall of Bellator. The tournaments. Those tournaments were dog shit. And I worked with them. Dog shit. People didn't get it. People don't like it. Tournaments are for the NBA.
I
Or for
love talking
March
to
Madness.
fighters now about those tournaments, the old fighters, and the sheer horror that it brings up of thinking of fighting that many times, that often. And right now, being a part of PFL press conferences, they're all like, "Oh, I can't believe I'm kind of doing this again. That I'm agreeing 4 fights in possibly 6 months." That you're like, "Oh."
Well, if you look at the guys that went over, particularly Pettis, he's not built for those tournaments. Oh, here we go.
Why wasn't that a need to down the opponent?
Because we're in Brazil. That does not matter because Michelle.
I thought you said the UFC isn't the commission.
They're not. That's why.
TKO commission. He's tapping.
Just took the throw. There it was. Guillotine. That's 8 in a row. And he went limp, tapping with his last breath of consciousness.
He went limp because he caught a knee to the face while he was flat on his back.
If the commission didn't see it didn't happen.
Look, it was. I like Michelle's flip it all. But
What happens in Brazil stays in Brazil.
Yeah, because
Now, earlier on in the card, we had a Brazilian fighter grab the fence, no point grab. Uzbekistani fighter grabbed the cage against the Brazilian fighter. Boom! Point deduction earlier, right away.
We'll see. Let's see. They're gonna show the replay. And then after this, guys, we'll take a quick break and we'll grab some food. Get yourself.
Beautiful punch.
Beautiful knockdown, and let's see. Oh shit.
He always does that weird shit.
Oh,
it wasn't. But it wasn't. That won't be considered a knee.
Watch this angle though.
Yeah,
Let's
he
see.
did hit him, but because he did that jump, they do it's considered a cartwheel like they do in jiu-jitsu.
So as long as I do a cartwheel,
You can smash
I guess you're okay. Yeah.
While you're flat. Okay.
Yeah, it was a guard pass.
And put your exactly, and you could put your cup right on his forehead. Jeez Louise. Hey, I'm happy with these knockouts though.
Well, Mike
I-
Beltran is in the cage, they're saying now. Maybe there's some confusion about the official.
No, top. What's the dog's name? Dior is on the mic. She's playing.
Michelle Pereira, man. Yeesh.
Man, pick your nose and he's going to sleep. When you get that front choke like that, you act like you're picking your nose and out.
Knee aside, when he got locked in the guillotine.
Yeah.
He had it in. Yeah, it was.
I think that's what really put him to sleep. The other one dazed him. The illegal knee that Mr. Carlyle saw and called out by the UFC Athletic Commission. Wouldn't that be something? Imagine if BKFC ran their own commission, UFC ran it. It would go real wild. It'd be like the TRT days, where they're all freaking. You'd have all the Vitor Belforts and the Frank Mears freaking coming back and doing all their stuff.
6 baskets or 6 points?
Micah, any other
I
events
think they're
coming?
gonna call this a no contest.
You really think so? Is that what they're doing right now? Oh, that's crap. I don't think he hit him. He might have grazed him, but that is considered a legal guard pass.
Not knowing what rules they're using, I don't know if they can go back and look at replay or not.
CageMinds.com. Tell us what rules they're using, please, if you know.
I think that Brazil has its own commission, but I wouldn't be surprised if the guard pass was considered a strike to a down.
But it's not. That's a legit pass. That's a legit guard pass.
Either way, the fight continued for so long after it feels weird.
And he was scrambling underneath. He really was. So I don't know.
I think Michelle Pereira is about to get pissed.
Yeah, I think so too.
Crowd's about to go a little rampaging.
He'll punch the ref in the face. Could you imagine that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop. Submission, yep.
Yeah, they got good.
Maybe they decided, you know what, we don't want to cause a riot. We'll just let him appeal this and it'll all work itself out in the end.
54 seconds.
You'll appeal it, and then at the next commission meeting, they'll deny it, and it'll get brushed under the rug. New Mexico Athletic Commission.
2 fights in less than 3 rounds.
Hey, I brought bizcochitos tonight since somebody don't like them. New Texaco, Mexico over here, wearing a New Mexico hat that says home and then a Tex ass shirt. Who's next for him?
I think it's finally a chances of the rankings. 'cause
We would hope, right?
Opponent, it's 8 in a row and 3 at 185. So who's ever at number 14 or 15, go right for it. I'd start ranking them up, put them in the rankings.
All right, guys, I think we're going to take a quick break. Smoke break, pee break, food break. This is the Beatdown with Friends live from Dapper Barber Parlor.
Bahalo's going to move on. Chris Curtis is on. Paul Craig is on.
Dapper Barber Parlor, located at 5836 Osuna Road in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Dapper Barber Parlor, located at 5836 Osuna Road in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Walk-ins are welcome or call ahead to book your appointment 505-884-4647.
CageMinds.com, your #1 news source for combat sports and sports entertainment.
Dapper Barber Parlor, located at 5836 Osuna Road in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Walk-ins are welcome or call ahead to book your appointment 505-884-4647. Dapper Barber Parlor, located at 5836 Osuna Road in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Walk-ins are welcome or call ahead to book your appointment 505-884-4647.
CageMinds.com, your #1 news source for combat sports and sports entertainment.
It's not gonna start getting hooked, right? I switch over.
And we're back. The Beatdown with Friends live for UFC 300 and Canelo Alvarez fight. I'm with CageBinds.com, the #1 source for combat sports news and sports entertainment news, which they're really not calling it that anymore. You got ZiaShirts.com. Go on to ZiaShirts.com. You can design your own shirts. They have templates up there that you can customize and put your own sayings, put your company's name on there. But they have different templates that you can customize to your business. ZiaShirts.com. And of course, Dapper Barber Parlor. Ray, come talk to us about what's updates with your dispensary, man.
We have a dispensary.
Come sit down.
Soon. If you need any medical needs, we deliver. Have vapes, concentrates, flour, whatever you need. Come check us out. We're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat.
Where's the dispensary going to be located? What part of town?
We're going to be located off Carlyle and Comanche.
Awesome. What's the name of it?
We're still trying to decide. We have a couple names, but we're trying to get in the works on a legit official name.
Awesome. And when are you guys going to be opening?
Hopefully within the end of the month or the next couple weeks.
Fantastic, man. Well, I'd love to be there. So keep us posted. We'll pump you up on here and everything on the Beatdown Live. I'll put you on 99.9 FM. And we'll keep it going.
Thank you. Much love.
Yeah, man.
Love to have you out there.
Absolutely.
Is that where the corner store used to be? Or
Basically right connected. Yep, right there.
All right.
Who's up next, Michael? Sorry, I'm choking. I'm trying to eat and talk at the same time.
UFC 301. Next up, we have the veteran Anthony Smith against unbeaten rising prospect
No, I'm good.
Vitor
Should not
Petrino.
bother you.
What are the odds of like Carlyle?
Anthony Smith is a plus 425 underdog.
This is one of those moments, possibly. This is a bad scene.
With Anthony Smith, is it he's just willing to fight at this point? They're just putting
Pretty
it
much. I think Anthony Smith does a fine job at the desk.
Yes.
On these events. I would like to see him transition into more of that and less of fighting.
You know what? I was thinking back. I was watching a couple WECs. Jens Pulver was pretty good at it. Frank Mir is excellent at it, and I don't know why they don't get more than the. I don't like homers. You know what I mean? And that's what I feel DC is. I want truth.
That's what they all are.
Yeah.
I mean, he's over Rashad. I mean,
But I
he's
would-
putting you there for a reason.
And maybe that's why those guys got taken out, because
Yeah,
they
maybe.
were calling it like they see it.
Yeah.
The truth. Wouldn't you rather be told the truth as an athlete than lied to?
They're there to describe the fight and to tell a narrative to the consumer and the audience. So at a point, I almost look at this as the UFC looks at the shortcomings of boxing when they put together a more entertaining panel, and then they're also looking at not just since WWE, but even before that, they are there with their commentators to perpetuate a certain narrative and story.
So we're.
To answer your question, I don't think fighters do want to be told the truth.
I tell you what,
I
though.
mean, looking back after the fact, yes. But in the moment, no. I think you want to be told what you want to hear.
See, and if I know I lost, I know I lost. Like I don't want to be lied to. Like I don't care what these guys say. If you're a competitor, if you know you lost, how do you raise your hand like that? That is mind-boggling to me. And I'm sorry, guys, I accidentally changed it. Just to update you guys, they're on the co-main event on the Canelo fight. We will go live for the main event, unless it's co-main event on the UFC, which is Jose Aldo. I'm sorry, guys. I'm choosing him over. He's Hall of Fame. Sorry. It's just the way it goes. The main event, I probably would.
I like Jonathan Martinez. I respect Jonathan Martinez.
Talk to us a little bit about him.
He's a really nice guy. He's a South Texas guy, mild-mannered. Still works with the first team that he came up with. Does his bigger camps in Colorado with Factory X, some of the best low kicks in the game. He is a power puncher. Huge win over Adrian Yanez in his last outing. This is truly a position that he's worked his way up the card to earn. He's on a solid win streak. I just don't know if he has enough, if Aldo has had enough taken out of the tank for the two to match up.
So based on his boxing, because you mentioned he had some good boxing matches or decent boxing matches, based on that, has he fallen off?
I don't think so. I think Aldo's still there to compete. His last loss in MMA was Merab Dvalishvili, and we expect Merab to fight for the title, possibly win it. And it's not like that was a fight where Jose took a lot of damage. That was a fight where he couldn't break away from Merab, and Merab held him on the cage for 15 minutes.
So, Mr. Carlyle, was it smart of Jonathan to put his head and go almost like headbutt Jose at was it the ceremonial or was it the actual?
Yeah. I'm going to say no. I probably got a little more interest in the fight there locally, but my guess is just having Aldo on the card probably accomplished that. No, you don't want to wake the bear.
The lion.
Exactly, yeah.
The sleeping lion. And it to me, when he turned away from him and he smiles, like, thank you.
Yeah.
You just gave me reason.
Exactly.
And it's crazy. Is Anthony Smith at that level now where he needs a reason to fight? Because it felt like he was on such a huge hot streak, and then all of a sudden he just fell off. Like
it peaked with the Jones fight, and it's been downhill from there. I should say downhill, but I mean that was the peak.
Yes.
It has been a decline since then. I think he just loves to fight. And look, as long as he's healthy and wants to fight, I'm not going to tell him differently. Personally, though, like I said earlier, I'd love to see him do more desk work and analysis. I think he could be as good as Paul Felder or Bisping or anybody else on commentary.
Absolutely. And why not rotate them?
Yeah, exactly.
This is a slow fall down the ladder, though, for Anthony Smith.
They love him, right? The UFC actually loves him. That's why they're letting him fall so slow. And I don't know what Black Tate is doing over there, but there's a reason why they call him that. He was part of Jackson's team. It's not that I'm being racist or anything. It's a joke, inside joke between us all. There's Tate, fighter, and now he's on movies, and then Black Tate. And that's what they used to call it. That's how they made them different from each other. Because you call both of them be like, what? So here we go. What is it with Tate and what is it?
Burns.
Yes. What is it with them two?
They're the best of friends.
Are they, or is Gilbert Burns just wiping the floor with him? No, that's my wife.
They seem to be jovial about their interactions. One time Tate got over on Gilbert. I saw him jump up off the ground, take off.
That's what he said.
Juggling, chuckling like a 5-year-old, like he had just got over on his big brother. Oh my God!
Yeah.
I think they're friends. I think it's funny. Well, if it never goes over that point, security usually stops.
Was it the last event where Tate got the better of him?
Yeah. Then he ran away.
Oh, there. And Tate don't run very fast.
No.
Yeah, so it's interesting. But he does train, guys, so don't think he's a slouch either. And that's the thing. What do you guys know about this guy?
Adrino's a stud. Started off with his ground game. His striking has come along. He's a Contender Series guy. I believe he had to stop in the LFA to fill up one of these Brazilian arenas, proving that there was still kind of a reason for the UFC to go down to that market. So he's been through kind of the levels. He has beat 4 other prospects so far in the UFC to earn this kind of opportunity where he's been tested. Now are you ready for that top 15?
So here's my question. How is Anthony Smith top 10? I'm looking at it right now. I'm asking you, Micah. CageMinds.com.
Go ahead, Micah.
It's really hard to get out of the UFC rankings once you're in them. It takes a good 4 losses to fully get executed out of the rankings, it looks like. And there are some divisions that are much more shallower than other ones. Oh, you want me to pull those up for you real quick? You can just come look at my screen.
Well, I want to see his fight history real quick. I'm just curious of those 4.
How many losses in a row are we looking at? We're looking at 3 of the last 4. Actually, just 1 loss in a row.
Okay.
Did beat Ryan Spann by split decision.
So he's going
Staying
up,
in the
down,
ranking.
up, down.
Yeah.
That's why he's still there.
Yeah, because it was a 3-fight win streak, and now lost 3 or 4.
205. What happened to it? It was such the hottest, biggest division, and now it seems like there's
John Jones cleaned it out and then moved up to heavyweight. That's what happened to it.
John Jones was the last one.
And did you see that he says it's a more interesting fight to him to fight Alex?
He's right.
It is
He's
bigger.
100% right.
Commercially
Where would
bigger.
you put it?
Either Vegas or New York.
That'd be huge in MSG.
I take him home.
Yeah. I think that the natural inclination is Vegas. That's UFC's home, but I agree with you. It's not Vegas, it's New York, and not Brooklyn, not across the river, New Jersey. It's got to be MSG.
The only reason why they won't do it is John Jones versus John Jones, and when he gets around people he knows.
John Jones fighting in New York would be huge, having been from Ithaca, and then with Alex living in Connecticut and Dansbury now with Glover.
That's right.
I believe he's already fought on the undercard on 2 MSG cards. So it would be him moving up. So it would actually be a nice culmination for both of them to headline an MSG card.
And then don't you remember when him and Greg Jackson were in the park and some guy he mugged some lady and he actually took him down? Right
Oh
before the
yeah,
fight.
that was John before fighting Shogun for the title that day. He was meditating in the park, ran down at first snatcher. That was back before we knew about movies.
Yes.
And running into cars. And you're running into trees with this BMW.
And Petrino shot into a
He
guillotine.
is not
Upset. It's
ready for the
over.
top 10, guys. Dang.
I told y'all, Anthony Smith should fight forever.
Oh, yeah, you did. And I said he should be a commentator. He should be more commentating. No, I actually, Anthony Smith is a great guy. He used to train here.
What I tell you about both guys?
He's an incredibly nice guy.
Like fucking
Yeah,
villains.
No doubt about it.
Awesome dude.
Yeah.
Awesome guy. He used to train with my first trainer, Diego Baca, for strength and conditioning. And I mean, he would stop and sign every autograph, talk to anybody that wanted to talk to him. And when you were in the UFC, you know, most of those guys were, you know,
Right,
Cowboy, you know, Leonard was cool. And whatnot. But
Oh, Petrino, he lifted Smith up, and Smith just right into the guard, had the guillotine locked up. It was probably a moment to bail on the thought of the takedown, but he just went full bore into it, even though it was turned out bad. That might have been more like, let me just put you down and start fighting the hands.
I don't think it was that tight,
Dive
though.
in.
It didn't look like it from the. He looked like he had space, and you're talking to a jiu-jitsu guy. It looked like he had space on the back of the neck.
He got him like that. He ain't going nowhere.
It didn't look like he was fighting the arms at all. I don't know.
We've gotten 3 fights down, and we ain't even had 2 rounds of fight time yet.
Yeah, we are on the co-main event. Where are we at with the main event? For the boxing together.
Barrios just won via unanimous decision in the co-main.
And you guys gotta understand, Canelo's smart enough. I don't think he's gonna start this fight until this card is done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a good hour of hype before they start his walkouts.
Who did he fight that one time? And he waited, like he made them wait.
There was a
It was
big
like
UFC
30
fight, too.
minutes, yeah.
It's 2 minutes on Aztec. TV Aztec.
Yeah, I don't think those.
Well, the way the UFC card's going, you might see
Yeah.
them take a break now. Go ahead, Canelo. We'll stall.
It's 9:19.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We used to get out here about 11 o'clock with boxing and
And
MMA.
then he's gonna run. He's gonna run and play. And
Yeah, they might.
that guy.
And then, but you got star power in the co-main event.
Who's it called?
Jose Aldo.
You forgot his name.
Oh, this?
He started. Bruce Buffer just started calling it the wrong name. Anthony Smith just had a heart attack, and now they're all having a laugh.
Is that getting old? Who's gonna take over for him when it's time? Not that
Charlie from last weekend.
Oh God, dude! Are you talking about the BKFC guy?
No. I'm talking about Charlie Arnold. I don't know if you saw, but Joe Martinez got sick in the middle of the UFC fight night last week, and the sideline reporter had to jump in and do 2 fights.
Did he sound good?
She sounded fine.
Wow, a female one. That would be awesome to hear somebody like that. That would be cool. I'd actually like it. I think that's a great idea. There's that one from wrestling.
Yeah, they did have Lillian Garcia for a while with PFL. And then we even had, who was the one that was working at AEW for a while? Dasha?
Yeah.
Yeah, she, I think I saw her do some boxing or something recently, actually. Now that she's not with AEW.
That was not my cup of tea, guys, let me tell you.
The other AEW announcer took over for Lillian, didn't he?
Ring announcing.
For some of the PFL events, but now the PFL has went with it to shooting their European announcer.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah, I'd rather be behind a mic than in the center of the ring calling out people.
Exactly.
It was an experience, but it wasn't for me.
I'm sure I'll mess up somebody's name. I
did.
even on say all the time, too.
I absolutely did. And then as the promoter kept feeding me drinks, well, you shouldn't have done that. But it was what it was.
Just like the moral of the first episode of this show. Stop
Hey,
eating.
we don't talk about the first episode. That's the first rule of the Beatdown with Friends Live. In fact, Josh, you better have that off the website.
It's on Reels.
Yeah.
I think you should cut that up and post it.
The Dapper Barber Parlor, Dom and Monaco, they roofied me. All I had was like
Roofie. Oh,
I had 3 shots, and I woke up with makeup smelling like shit, and Monaco said his butt was sore.
The Cookie Monster came out.
Boom.
Did you see the relief from Anthony Smith for this win? Like, how much he needed this win? Like this ain't a celebration. This is relief. Like I think we might have seen a retirement tonight if he lost.
Well, why not retire on top?
That wasn't him.
None of these guys want to do it though. They all want to retire on a loss for some reason.
You know what? Because he was ranked 5th coming into this fight, he'll probably move up a spot or 2. We just talked about this division. I'm not saying it should happen, but in his mind, he probably feels like, hey, I got this win. If I can get 1 or 2 more.
He goes to 7.
Right.
Michael, what was that? You're going to have a heart attack right there. You okay?
Yeah.
What'd you see?
No, Charles Oliveira's still alive. I was surprised about it.
Okay.
I thought he was dead to the UFC. I'm like, they actually showed him.
He's dead to me. But that's another story for another time. Let's just say Charles Oliveira cost me a lot of money at UFC 300.
I'm seriously surprised they put him in like the VIP row and everything. Like they've been a lot nicer to him this week than they are to a lot of the champions that lose and people that are on the decline. So yeah, just kind of surprised to see they keep putting him front row because it's the UFC. Normally they'd be more looking at the next prospect that's coming up.
Again, guys, ZiaShirts.com. If you go to the search engine or search on ZiaShirts.com, you put Cage Minds t-shirts. Support CageMinds.com. They go out to the UFCs, they cover it live, they do the live post-fight press conferences, BKFCs, your local events, so don't forget the local fighters at all. Let me tell you. Support them. This is the way they get out there. This is the way they get money to get to the events. Support CageMinds.com. Go to ZiaShirts.com. Buy their t-shirts. And right now there's a special, right? $13, Josh? During the Beatdown with Friends Live, ZiaShirts.com, $13. CageMinds.com, short sleeve, unisex t-shirt. What do you guys think about this card so far?
All in all, it's exciting. We've had a lot of quick finishes.
It wasn't big names though, and I wasn't excited about tonight. I gotta be honest. I was more excited about Canelo, but I'm gonna tell you, like these stoppages, the guard pass with the knee to the head, Mika Carlyle.
Oh yeah. You know, something Mike and I talk about with some of the fight nights from the Apex that don't necessarily look good on paper, they usually wind up being the overall better shows. Because part of it, you probably go in with lower expectations, but it seems like there's always something crazy that happens. The fights usually are a little better than you think they're going to be. I'm with you. on paper, look, I'm excited for the main event. Heck, I'm excited to see Aldo in the co-main. Other than that, on paper, not a lot all that exciting for me about this card, but the prelims were fun. The main card's been very good so far.
Absolutely, and the Brazil crowd is usually a little bit more rowdy, I would say, in the past. Of course, the last event, so. But it's weird. Is it dying out there? What do you think it is?
There is something different about this venue, just about how it's set up, and I think that it doesn't give the same massive arena kind of feel, so I think it keeps people more in check. And Brazilian fighters have this tendency to win, jump out of the cage, and run wild through the arena. So this might actually just be better to keep the dudes somewhere you can grab them before a riot breaks out.
Jose Aldo, right?
As he's coming now, the first guy that we saw do it.
Holy cow. Everybody, I freaked out. I thought they were going to disqualify him. Because typically, all athletic commissions, if you jump over the cage, they'll disqualify you. I've only seen it a few times here in New Mexico. I've never seen them actually enforce it anywhere else. Micah, have you?
No, I've never seen it enforced except there was recently.
Rocket did it one time. We and it was after the fight they announced it. They didn't. They waited until everybody left, and then they did it in the back.
Oh wow!
But and then that fight. Did you? You were there, right? For when the boxing one broke out in the ring for Holmes boxing.
Was I there? I might not have actually been there.
You weren't there for that brawl at Buffalo's Den?
Yeah, no, I was not there. No, I've never been in
the little brother wrestler with the ears, and they didn't know, and the boxer over there trying to fight him. I'm like, he's an MMA fighter, get away from him.
You're gonna get hurt.
Yeah.
No, I was not there. I've heard of that, but I was not there. One time I avoid stuff.
Back to React. This is your guy in Colorado. And
Jonathan Martinez.
He has a spot here, correct?
He's fought here, I believe so. I know that he's cornered many a times fighters for the Clovis cards that him and his team have cross-trained. He does have his home base is somewhere in southern Texas, so I know that is his Plainview.
Yeah.
His team that he still works with to today and goes up to Factory X for the big camps. But I don't know if he's actually fought here in Albuquerque before on any of the regional cards.
So there's this thing now going around. There's no more super camps. These guys want individual camps. All eyes on me. Is that good or bad?
I don't know. I still think they're super camps because if you look at Factory X, they've turned into one. You go and look at the amount of guys that they have in the UFC. It's like 10, 15 guys. ATT still has this ridiculous amount of depth.
They seem to be the biggest now.
Or what is it? Killcliff. Also in South Florida, you can find Usman's there now that he's not the champion. He's back there again with Burns, with Luque. Ian Gary can be there sometimes. So you'll see 6, 7, 8 different guys there. Where else? And then with the Apex, Extreme Couture. Just depending on the day, I saw Tom Aspinall we had seen last time we were in Vegas. He left, went home, and is now already back, and he's training at
keep going
at Extreme Couture. So when you looked at the mat there was at least 2 handfuls of UFC fighters in their last group picture. So I think there is still a super camp element to what's going on in MMA. It's just more of a pop-in thing than people devoting to one camp.
See, and I've always thought, because Jackson's was a super camp when they were on Ackerman, they were huge. I always thought getting more one-on-one attention would be better. In my opinion, wrestling, I had my pops as my coach, so I always had that little bit of extra,
right?
You know, and I didn't see them like. So I'll take this. Cub Swanson was showing Clay Guida how to throw a proper hook and turn the leg. I'll never forget it.
And that's why super camps are still important, because so you try to balance the I want the one-on-one attention with the greatness creates greatness, and if I'm around these great fighters and these fighters are willing to show me things.
But if you bring people in,
when you bring too many, when you try to get too big, when you build new fancy buildings and you got all these plans, but you get a little out of hand trying to implement them, and fighters don't feel like they're all getting the attention they deserve. Yeah.
How can you?
Well, true, absolutely.
And I even saw that when Jackson was on Acoma, Diego Brandao and Diego Sanchez. Coaches weren't around, and they were actually fighting like full blown. It was sparring, but those two crazies went after each other, and nobody stopped them. There wasn't coaching, and it was sparring, and all the guys just stopped sparring. And everybody just watched because it's fighters, and they're going at it. Like you're not sparring anymore. You're actually you're competing against each other. What are you doing?
Right.
And it just didn't make sense to me at that moment why you would want to do that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to find Canelo's walking out. I know Jose's walking out.
They're both going to fight at the same time?
Yeah, and if you're coming as a sports fan, right now it's a really fun time. You're about to have the co-main event with UFC with Aldo and Jonathan Martinez. And you got Canelo, like you said, making the walkout for his fight. So, yeah, a lot of channel flipping right now.
Sorry, guys. Let me look it up. I'm over here bullshit. Talk about something, Micah. Talk to us about your site.
Sorry, I was trying to actually write for the site, trying to catch up on writing the report for Cage Minds to give you guys a full recap of what's going on with tonight's UFC action. And somehow I clicked on the wrong thing.
Hey, man, your interviews. Who do you guys have up right now?
Right now, I don't even know who. We're doing the podcast right now. I don't think any of the interviews are new, but this week we have one going up new. Daniel Strauss, BKFC 61 headliner. That's next Saturday night. That will be up Monday morning. So that's the former Bellator featherweight champion. He made his BKFC debut, I think it was 13 months ago. So this will be his second fight with the promotion. He was supposed to be in the co-main event. Unfortunately, Heather Hardy injured, withdraws, no longer fighting Christine Faria. So instead, Jimmy Rivera, Daniel Strauss is going to be the BKFC 61 headliner. Got to talk to Daniel. And then also trying to talk with Zach Kalmus, a heavyweight on the undercard. Zach is like 3-2 in BKFC and has an interesting style of allowing his opponents to tire themselves out by punching him in the face. I've literally seen dudes just get tired of punching him. You thought that only happened, in slap league. Just tapping out from I can't slap no more.
So this is a numbered BKFC event. So it's not a prospect series or anything. Is it on a Saturday? Because I noticed it going on Saturdays a lot more.
Yeah, BKFC 61. This is going to be on a Saturday. It looks like if the UFC is doing an Apex level or going a little bit earlier on their fight nights, BKFC is going a little bit later. Oh no, Sal has totally lost all the channels for everything.
Yeah, I think it's the internet.
People. Hopefully you can still hear us.
With the internet. Let's go back to the LFA. What? Oh, down. Where it says here. Sorry, guys.
Someone let me know what's happening with Jose Aldo.
No, we're going back to it.
So I'm getting behind videos and getting forward videos.
He's wearing a crown, guys. He's wearing a crown.
Oh, the King of Rio is back. Wow.
And he owns a couple of burger spots out there as well.
Yeah, they didn't have burgers supposedly until he brought it to the nation.
And that's why he tasted them here. And then he took them out there.
Yeah, it was like, this is my new favorite food or something in Vegas. He had tried it.
He looks like he's got a nice hop in his step. And usually he has trouble making weight as he got older. Now it doesn't look like he's having trouble.
Mastered it. It was always the talk that what would Aldo look like going up to fight Pettis and Henderson at 55, and then when he made a move to go down in weight class, it was startling. He's the guy that, like you said, looked like he was always so depleted getting down to 45 and has now been a bona fide contender at 135.
He was the most scary and feared WEC fighter. After he blasted Cub Swanson.
Oh, that double knee 2 times before Cub was out on the ground.
If you guys got the ESPN Plus, you guys can go on the on-demand, rewatch it. I saw it on Versus live. Remember when they used to show them and what was it, Sunday?
Yeah.
WC would run. And then they came out here, everybody was so excited about it. Man, those are some good fights back then.
See, I didn't remember that the WEC was WEF, I think I was reading, or it was something else.
They merged.
Okay, that's what it was before that.
So Bass Rutten fought in that one. It was a California-based, and they all are. King of the Cage, WEC was California-based. Strike Force. I think they were just different parts of California, and then that WFA and WEC merged, and then UFC bought both of them. It was super strange how they did that. That's how I believe Nate Diaz got moved over. It was in the buyout. He was the WEC champion, and then he moved over, and I think that's when he fought Diego Sanchez, or they were on a collision course. That fight alone was awesome too. If you guys haven't seen that, Google Diego Sanchez. They're already going?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm getting behind. I'm getting forward videos.
Well, keep us updated. No, this is we're gonna watch this. This is a Hall of Famer right here.
At least this one.
Oh, this is a legend going right now. Jose.
Hopefully it isn't knocked him out.
I can't believe I'm actually older than him. It seems like we've been watching.
I think he's older than this.
Long.
Yes, he's still using the age he used at Little League.
Yeah, it's the same. Like I'm telling you,
Like Yoel Romero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yoel lies about his age. I don't care what he says. He's probably about 10 years older than what he is, which is amazing that he's still as yoked as he is too.
And only 10 years older than what he says he is.
And broken freaking neck.
Really going.
Man.
Oh, such toughness.
Jamie knock him out?
On this one, they're really going.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what the fuck's going on.
We're good, man. We'll watch this one and then we'll put it up back to the other one. Are you guys interested in that 125? I wasn't really interested in it either. Mr. Carlyle? No, that's a no. We'll turn it back to Canelo.
Oh, wait. The main event?
Yeah.
I'd probably rather watch the main event of this than Canelo.
Really?
That's just me. Yeah.
I think I think the young gun's gonna beat Canelo.
Really?
Did I rile you up over there?
Thank you.
You woke up, huh?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fucking hell.
You want to bet?
Hell yeah.
Let's bet.
That's what you mean.
Hey,
What do you know?
Yes, sir. Before you put in my pocket.
Oh, that's why she's quiet and hanging out. We're feeding the puppies also. Man, this is exciting. And there was a rumor, like I said, that this was his final fight and he was fighting it out to go into boxing. You're saying he has 2 more?
I'm not sure. Look, UFC has let him do what he wants to do. I don't know that he needed to come back to fight out his contract.
Real quick before you take off, Micah, was this because of the lawsuit going on that they let these guys so they could say, no, we're not a monopoly. We're not holding these guys against the will. We let Jorge, we let Jose Aldo. These,
I just think there's some guys that they have a better understanding with than others of business, and hey, you can go do and it's not going to hurt our business, especially if you're going to go box. Jorge and Jose boxing because it's their dream doesn't hurt the UFC like as if it was Conor wanting to go do a bunch of boxing matches or Jose when he had the title.
How long has he been out of MMA or the UFC?
It's only been a year, and it was 3 boxing matches in that year.
So has it given him time to heal up?
That's a possibility. Maybe the legs will feel better, the wrestling will feel better, but we'll see. Right now, the hand speed still looks to be there, pushing forward on Martinez, trying to limit the effectiveness of those leg kicks.
These young guns, though, man. I don't like when they match him up with these older legends.
Trying to get that clout passed over somehow. Got to get him recognition.
They did it with Matt Hughes and Hoyce. And they gave Matt more of a name. Yes, he was champion, but they needed somebody to
really push him that next stratosphere.
Yep. And I really think that could have been GSP, but he lost to him, and then he came back and then he took off with that title. I don't know if he wants to go leg kick to leg kick with Aldo.
Martinez does lay heavy into the leg kicks. That was going to be an interesting part for me of the fight. How did Aldo, respond to somebody wanting to kick him? No one's ever dare attacked in that manner.
Now what happens when he throws his kick?
Exactly. Where does that now change how Martinez is going to respond? Not to mention, Aldo getting in the pocket and ripping off boxing combinations is quite dangerous.
And he did that earlier, right when the round started.
And to see Aldo pressing forward, being offensive, that's the best. Worst thing you can see is a guy that was shot and scared to pull the trigger. Right here, we have an active, engaged Aldo. And like you said, the trash talk might help. Right? This is just a 3-round fight.
Ooh. So I'm curious if the cardio is going to be a
Oh, I think he'll be fine for 3. If this was 5, I'd be more questioning. But I want to say he went 8 rounds in each of his boxing matches. So
those are 2 minutes.
3, right?
Are they?
I thought they were 3.
Oh, 3 minutes, but he's going 5, right?
Yeah, 5 minutes now. I think he'll be all right. I'd be more concerned if we were talking about a 25-minute fight versus a 15-minute fight when he had been doing 24-minute fights.
Martinez, you can't stand there. You're not going to be able to absorb those punches. You got to actually move. Get off his center line. You're making it easy for him. His hands look a lot better.
And now that all those went in box, he's actually kicking more than I swear he did the last 2 years that he was doing MMA. Because he was pretty boxing-centric for a while.
Wasn't he hurt on his shins or something like that? The last couple fights?
That might have been what it was. I don't think he ever wanted to come out and talk about it to not make a bigger deal about it. But there had to be a reason why.
Because he wasn't.
It was heavy, and then he just went away from it completely.
Man, again, go back to WC days. Those leg kicks, those knees, everything. Punches, elbows. Woof. Interesting first round. But you're right, Mika. Martinez is throwing the kicks, which we hadn't seen anybody do that. Is that because of the age? If this was Aldo in his prime, would he do that?
I don't know if he would dare do it, but I don't know if Aldo might maybe have been checking them better also.
I like this round. He's filling him out. He's getting his ring rust, and he's hurting him.
And Aldo's moving forward. The only time Martinez is moving forward is when he's able to land one of those kicks. It feels
he's putting that jab in his face, Martinez.
Aldo's been the advancing party.
And I actually rooting for Martinez based that he's sandwiched between New Mexico, he's Texas, and Colorado. And New Mexico's right here, so these guys come out. I do remember
Body shot from Aldo. I like that he's fighting that with the right hand.
Yeah, gotta start trying to slow him down. Well, you got the kid. You got a kid in there with you. Older fighters gotta be smart about it when you're going against these kids. They have energies for days.
I'm already surprised. This is a lot different Aldo than what I expected to see. Just the varied weapons and target areas compared to... He was a jab cross fighter for those last 2 years. He was a shell of the offensive menace that we talked about from the WEC.
So is this age and IQ, fight IQ growing?
Maybe it's that maturity in it that you've been along, you were away for so long, or maybe you were able to look back at your last couple fights like, I had the opportunity to use all these weapons and I wasn't, and maybe that's something after the boxing where you're like, now I couldn't use those weapons, why wasn't I?
Why do you think he was push kicking him right there? Just to throw him off to keep him out of range?
Get off me at the end of the round.
Mr. Carlyle, give us your thoughts.
I thought it was a good round for Aldo. Mikey keeps talking about Aldo looking different. I think he's right. I think it's actually because you're right. He had become boxing centric, but then going off and having 2 professional boxing fights in an exhibition, I think he and his coaches realize they're going to expect us to come in boxing heavy. Let's get back to doing what we used to do and catch them off guard.
Why doesn't he use his jiu-jitsu? Novel Uno, black belt. That's legit.
Just never wanted to, ever. He's just never wanted to grapple.
Those professors do not hand out belts for knocking people out with your feet. Let me tell you. You have to earn that belt. And he has earned his black belt in jiu-jitsu. Again, there's levels to everything. He's legitimately a black belt, and he don't use it at all.
Ever, yeah. I think there's been one time maybe here at Bantamweight we've seen him on the ground be successful with it, but the only time I can think that he's really tried to grapple was when he was behind against Peter Yan. So
would you be surprised if they throw that into the game plan?
Yes. Yeah. I'd be more surprised about a grappling Aldo than a kicking Aldo.
Might happen, just to throw it all off. There goes.
Martinez, though, he recognized that he has to move forward. He has to put Jose on his back foot.
Yes.
See what happens. He was not having success when he was getting pushed back.
Well, honestly, the only fighter that I've ever seen in combat sports successfully off that back foot, Muhammad Ali. He can move backwards and keep punching you and win the fight as as the other fighter's pressing forward. That's the only one I've ever seen successfully do that. Most guys circle out or keep circle out or cut angles to try and get out of that. He's the only one, and it is super hard. I try. Oh, look at that! He's trying to get the takedown himself. Is that a tall tale sign that Aldo is getting the better of this fight?
Yes, I think that Martinez doesn't go for a takedown if he is happy or confident about the way things are transpiring on the feet. No matter who it is, Aldo still has like 92% takedown defense.
Knowing Martinez, is he ranked in jiu-jitsu? Does he have wrestling? What is his background?
He's a kickboxer. He's a brawler, and I believe that his jiu-jitsu is good enough to keep you honest, but I don't think it's his forte.
Honest?
No, I think it's to keep a good MMA fighter honest, not like a good black belt honest. He's a striker. He has made his bones with his leg kicks, letting some overhands go, his knockout of Davey Grant. But to see Martinez trying to change things up and attack the wrestling is a sign that this is a plan B or plan C.
They want to go around are we in with the boxing, with the Canelo fight? What round are we in? What happened?
Canelo already won.
Yeah.
Canelo knocked him out. Put him to sleep. Now they're going to make Oscar De La Hoya versus Canelo.
Canelo already won? What?
Is it already over?
It's not even 10 o'clock. It's 9 o'clock in Vegas.
Is that where it's at?
Yeah, they were in Vegas.
That's what they told me.
I'm getting on the Twitter now. Let's see.
Oh, body shots. Oh, he got clipped. Aldo got clipped. But there it goes.
Martinez blocks the head kick.
That video of guy showed me he won.
It's not true. Monaco don't know shit. They're in the second round.
You want my money?
Okay,
Yeah,
still
that's
going.
what you.
Still
We
going.
didn't
Round
shake
two.
hands.
Aldo round two.
Oh, look
Big
at
leg
that.
kick inside.
Yeah, it hurt him.
I want my money.
I would say free haircut, but you fucked my hair up the one time you did cut my hair.
I'm not.
You're the one that pointed it
Still
out.
come on down to Dapper Barber Parlor.
Huh?
That's why you paid me double.
Said it was your head's uneven.
My head's uneven. He said, I'm getting you back for your stinky thumb. You know what's dirty? Martinez is having success with that jab. And if he keeps throwing it, he's already popped him a few times with it. He's got to keep throwing it out there. Like you double it up, triple it up. But, you know, I don't understand why he's not throwing it more.
He's going for the hook more. He's looking for the big action, not willing to just
Aldo knows he's
take
hurting him with that
hits.
inside kick.
And Aldo's getting reactions from the feints now.
Yep.
He's hit him so many times to the body, so many times to the leg. Martinez reacting to every little feint, every little...
I like this more mature aged Jose Aldo. Beautiful body here.
Maybe this isn't the last time we see Jose. I thought this was a nice farewell. One more time in Rio.
Would you rather make $10 million in a boxing match, not saying that he's going to get that, or fight 50 times for the UFC and get $5 million?
Well, you'd obviously want to make more money. I just don't know if Jose Aldo and his Brazilian fan base commands that attention at 130 or 140 pounds in the boxing
I'm
world.
trying to think who would he go against at 130, 135 pounds. Josh Pope, 135 pound boxing champion.
What are we talking about? I think they got the Kambusa Lomachenko rematch coming up at 135.
Is that 135?
That's 135.
So then, who's the guy you're high on from New York?
Teofimo Lopez.
That would be a barn burner.
Barn burner at 140. They were talking about Teofimo,
Probably not,
Haney, Shakir Stevens.
But I'm saying Aldo in him.
Yeah.
I'm hearing rumblings that TKO, not UFC, is thinking of buying Top Rank.
That would be interesting if they think they could do it better.
Well, 'cause-
I mean, you couldn't buy it and keep running it as it is,
He's like 90-something years old, the promoter.
right?
Arab?
Yeah, Father, thank you.
And it's under the ESPN umbrella.
Well, and plus, if you're TKO, they didn't do it this time, but eventually you're going to bundle UFC and WWE. You bundle UFC and Top Rank, and that's how you solidify a good TV spot.
Why not change TKO Pass? Charge a premium for it.
You could. I don't know. I'm surprised they didn't do that when they went with ESPN. Well, now what TKO at the time was UFC, but you already had Fight Pass. You had, again, more associated, but WWE had already given you that blueprint with their network at the time. I was a little surprised UFC then didn't take it in-house and put all pay-per-views on Fight Pass.
Now you cover all sports. TNT, the NBA,
Right?
What do you think about the billions of dollars that they're going after? Or taking it away from TNT?
Yeah,
right?
well,
It wasn't there.
as I understand it, TNT, Warner Discovery can match any offers. So it might not be as dire as it sounds. But yes, there's a real possibility that TNT loses the NBA, and at that point in time, you're probably looking at a completely different strategy for that network. They've still got some hockey playoffs and stuff, but no disrespect to hockey. Nobody's watching regular season hockey. You're not going to garner half the interest that you do from the NBA. So you're going to have some problems there.
So now I'm going to ask you real quick. UFC comparable to NBA ratings?
Little different because you got NBA every night of the week on TNT alone. What are they? 2 nights a week, 3 nights a week, whatever. If you're asking me what the more valuable franchise is,
Yes.
probably I might even say NBA just because there's every team plays 82 games plus playoffs and all that.
And I'm saying for a TV deal.
Yeah.
Not more valuable in terms of, you're going to own this, you're going to own that. For the TV deal in 2025.
NBA.
Interesting. Do you think ESPN is going to keep them? The UFC?
If they don't, it's because UFC chose to go elsewhere.
More money. Who would give them more money?
Depends on what you're packaging it with. I wonder if, now this might look like a step back, but if Fox Sports wanted to get back in.
But now they can bundle it in that group package. That
Right.
coming out.
And streaming's the game changer. You also, if you're UFC, you're not as dependent upon having a network. Look, there's something really nice to be associated with ESPN, but you don't have to have an ESPN. You don't have to have a big-time network, especially when you have an established fan base who are already accustomed to watching things on Fight Pass. But you see what WWE's doing with going to Netflix next year. All of a sudden, Netflix is in play, Amazon Prime's in play. All these different streaming platforms. So
It'll be interesting.
it's a whole new ballgame.
Oh yeah, Micah, what's going on in this round?
Jose Aldo, still with these boxing combinations, multiple punches, working the body. I don't see Martinez having landed anything significant enough to steal any of these rounds. Not to mention the crowd reaction you're getting every time Aldo lands. It's a lot to fight against. Short left hook. Martinez is hurt. Aldo might bring down the house. We got 2 minutes to go. He's searching for a finish. Martinez is wobbled again from a straight 1-2. There's the takedown that's not wanted. Aldo
It's still going. What round?
on top.
Third round, Canelo Alvarez.
I'm sure Canelo's doing fine.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
No? He's getting beat up?
Oh, Canelo's getting hit, getting touched. Oh,
That's your
Jose
boy.
Aldo, 90 seconds to get a finish.
Yes. Sorry guys, we're actually really intensely watching this because this is a Hall of Famer going against one of these young guns full of you-know-what, and the older man is actually putting a beating on this young man for the 3 rounds. He didn't run out of gas. Micah, you were right. CageMinds.com, the #1 site for combat sports news and sports entertainment. We're live from Dapper Barber Parlor, the Beatdown with Friends for UFC 301, and we'll switch right over to the Canelo fight right after Aldo's fight.
We've got takedowns, we've got body shots, we've got knees, we've got high kicks, leg kicks, body kicks. This is the Aldo I think all of us have been dreaming about for a couple of years, that we were like, where did he go?
I'd be shocked if Martinez pulls out Anderson Silva triangle or submission.
I'm going to be shocked if Jose Aldo retires in a minute. I think he might as well call out ahead. You're coming off the couch, beating the number 12 guy in the world.
What happened?
Got some big action on the
Canelo
box.
dropped him.
Canelo with a knockdown in the third.
In the third round, drops Jamie.
Munguia.
What?
Jonathan Martinez, he knows he let one get by him. He lost an opportunity.
But did he really? I mean, you're going against a Hall of Famer, a former world champion. Like, is it at this age, at this stage, did he really lose anything out of it?
Well, I'll tell you how he felt. I don't think it hurts him that bad. Like you said, he's fighting up. This is a legend in his hometown. This is a hard fight.
And we'll go to, since we're switching to boxing, Canelo got schooled by Floyd Mayweather. And look at his path after that fight. He learned a big lesson. Michael Carlyle.
Nice showing for Martinez. I don't think he hurts Martinez. I don't know that I go so far as to say he's fighting up. I understand what Micah means. Aldo's a legend, but he's also a guy who retired and, like you pointed out, came back to fight out his contract.
For sure.
But yeah, legend, no doubting Aldo's status. But yeah, if Aldo wants to stay around, we'll see him back in the rankings very quickly.
And I love that he talked to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I think that's what the older guys need to do with these young guys. They need to pull them aside. I think that's what's wrong with the sport right now, is the older guys need to say, hey. And that's what I think I'm seeing with Donald Sanchez, John Dodson. Mm-hmm. That's what's making that team special. The villains, what is it called, Micah?
Nobody's villains.
They remind me of old Jackson's team, where they're real close-knit. They're not huge, and they're taking the younger guys under their wings. I think they're going to be very special. I really do.
I thought you meant because when it was BKFC fight weekend, it looked like old Jacksons in that gym. Literally, the faces were the same dudes.
Oh, it was, but you got those young guys in there, and let me tell you, they're learning from them. They really are. They're listening to him. Look, John's coaching him. He's doing an amazing job at coaching. Nick, been coaching. He was the kids coach for Jackson's. Now, I mean, utilize his knowledge of the fight game to instill in these super athletic kids coming up. Why not?
Right? It's great to see it. We've seen. I can think back to the old Jackson's gym. Was it like Candelaria and Eubank?
Yeah.
Michelle and John were there leading the kids' classes. So you wondered what happened to that kind of tree, that lineage of what happened.
Get off the internet.
Fucking up.
Retry. Because if he retires, that'll be awesome.
They'll do it right.
Fucking up.
We have to give some people some words.
Elevated. You think he puts the gloves down?
No.
I don't think so either.
No,
this showing.
I think his people and Sean Shelby and Dana White are going to start having conversations on Monday about whether he wants a new contract or not.
Oh, and Aldo was also already putting out there, which Cruz was denying, Aldo said this wasn't supposed to be Jonathan Martinez. This was supposed to be Dominic Cruz. This was supposed to be a Legends fight. So I don't know if he still tries to bark up that tree.
Why?
Because I don't remember if they've eliminated Cruz from the rankings or not fully.
Nope, he is the 11 ranked bantamweight.
Because that would actually be a step up from where you are right now because you're
This
12.
is 135.
135 still both.
Now, what if he goes for that BMF title against Max? 155.
I don't know if there's an appetite to see Jose Max 3. That feels like something that's been revisited. I'd just rather see Jose continue this at 135.
Why not
get
make
somebody
more
in
of
the
a
top 10.
legends? And they did that for a little bit. These Hall of Famers that are coming back. Why not put them against each other in fun fights?
I might.
There's just so much depth at 135. It'd be hard to say. You could probably look. If there is there another name? You're looking at the rankings, Carlyle, that jumps out to you for Aldo? That would be a fun fight with another legend.
No. As far as something like that, no. Now, if he wants to come back and he wants one more run, I think things might be a little more interesting. Song Yudong, you clamoring for that? Probably not, right?
Right.
Cejudo just for the hell of it? My guess is if Cejudo fights again,
It's going to be Brandon Moreno.
right, he's got bigger aspirations than just having a fun Legends fight.
Now, if Brandon won, would he get the title shot? Would he have gotten that title shot?
Oh yeah, Brandon Moreno would have won it in Mexico. Would he be fighting tonight? Probably.
So why didn't Royval get the...
He walked out of there injured. He walked out of there injured. Still had a lower leg
Why
injury
not
after
push it
that.
back to Mexican Independence Day?
What fight?
This,
You mean this entire pay-per-view?
No,
that they didn't have a headliner for?
Oh, well, do you really think they're there for the 125ers?
Well, you
Or
got
were they there for...
The
were they
UFC
out?
still has the expectation, though, of a title fight, main event, or Conor McGregor. So you can't just say Jose Aldo is all of a sudden out of retirement, a headliner.
In Brazil, you can.
In Brazil, yes. In Brazil,
In
yes.
pay-per-views,
Yeah, but Royval tore his MCL. That's why he's out. Moreno had announced he was taking time off. He needed to clear his head and all that. If he had waited a couple of weeks to make that announcement, he might be in this fight.
we're in round 6 of 12 of the Canelo fight. And Jamie already went down, correct?
Yeah, Munguia was down in the third. Just got zinged again in the sixth. And he survived.
Who's next for Canelo? He's obviously not going back in to fight that guy that beat the brakes off of him.
And he's obviously not going to fight the mandatory for 2 of his belts, Benavidez, because he's
young.
he's
He's
angled
young.
away from that fight as hard as he could. So I didn't even know who Jamie Munguia was until they announced him fighting for this one. I'd heard his name in circles as a nice prospect. So this really does open up the world of anybody if Canelo can just pick a nice prospect.
He was a good prospect, but he started winning fights that mattered, and this could have been his showcase.
First, second round was cool.
Was it? So, but those are usually filling out rounds. And come talk, man. Come sit right here and talk. No, you're not gonna talk. Michael, you gonna talk? No, you're eating. Yeah. You don't love these guys like you love the other guy. What's his name? What's the one that you like?
football?
Oh no, the UFC guy that you were jib jabbing about.
Oliveira?
Oh God, don't talk anything bad about Oliveira, because he will freaking cry. You'll have to give him the tissue. That's his blood buddy right there. Well, look at that body, Micah. Just like Aldo. It's gotta be boring. They're at T-Mobile?
They're at
Yeah,
T-Mobile.
T-Mobile,
You can
yeah.
see the T-Mobile Arena sign in the back.
What do you guys think of the NFL draft?
The Atlanta Falcons shocked everybody. Or maybe
fucked
better yet, the Minnesota Vikings shocked everybody, or shit, the Denver Broncos shocked everybody. All 3 of them
good.
stretched out like they were Stretch Armstrong to try to get freaking quarterbacks that are gonna just disappoint.
Now Jamie's going to the body. Nice uppercut.
2 of those teams needed quarterbacks. One of them didn't. And blew a first round pick that could have
Beautiful jab, double jab.
Oh yeah, how much is committed to Kirk Cousins? Do you remember?
100.
It's either 90 or 110 million.
100.
But it's a 4-year
Guaranteed.
deal. The first 2 years full guaranteed. So I mean, they can get out of it after 2 years relatively.
That was a good end of that round for
Well,
Jamie.
you signed him to
He went
win
to the
now.
body,
Playoff run.
nice uppercut.
Build around him rather than trying to draft the guy who's going
Yeah,
to play.
Right, I was shocked that they didn't get an O-lineman in that pick. And actually, go back to that, I was even more picked that the Cardinals didn't trade down and picked up Harrison Jr. I didn't know if he was the game breaker at 4 for as bad as they are, for as many holes as they need a plug.
With all the,
I'm saying, at least in the case of the Broncos and the Vikings, they needed quarterback. So you understand their thought process, even if they're probably going to wind up brokenhearted. The Falcons thing was just crazy.
I think we're getting Bill Belichick as our coach in 2025 after we lose it in the first round again of the playoffs. That's what they're saying.
Belichick to the Cowboys?
That's what they were. What's his name?
I don't know.
That guy that on ESPN that breaks all.
Adam Scheffler?
Yeah, he said it. He goes, "There's a playoff team that always exits first round." I was like, Cowboys.
I hope they don't.
I don't know that he and Jerry Jones can coexist.
I don't think they can.
I thought they were actually good friends.
Look at Bill Parcells.
Jimmy Johnson and Belichick are, and Jimmy Johnson's back on good terms with the Cowboys now, so maybe he can.
I think if Dion turns it around,
I agree.
Dion's coming.
I think he's going to be the one.
Yep.
And his son will be there.
I agree.
That's the word.
What do you guys think? Because it's been the Jamie and Canelo fight wasn't hyped this whole week.
No, this really did
Saudis-
take a bad
Saudis are watching this. If they throw massive amounts of money, Canelo versus De La Hoya.
Maybe. Well, better yet, okay, real quick, talking about
I'm not saying that
Saudi.
it's
How do you
easy.
feel about them bringing Riyadh season to Los Angeles in August? They're not just keeping all these massive fights to themselves. They're bringing this stupid card to Los Angeles.
Well, you got Terrence Crawford. To me, he's the number 1 pound for pound boxer. He proved it. But the B side.
It's a relative unknown.
But they're also saying Anderson and Wilder will be on that card.
Zoo versus Virgil Ortiz.
Anderson, Oklahoma, I believe he's from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Right? I've seen him fight before, and man, that kid can hit.
And he's a big athlete. He's like a linebacker, athletically speaking.
That's a prime matchup for him to get noticed.
Isaac Cruz is supposed to be on that card. They're stacking it up. There's some other prospects I was hearing being mentioned, like real. This is like a card that can compare with some of the cards
And it's in
30,
LA?
40 years ago. Yeah, in LA.
Pitbull will back it up.
First weekend, I believe, of August.
Does Canelo look gassed?
Well, Gia had Canelo on the back foot in the corner and then just let him out of danger.
Joshua versus Ortiz again. Or was it Ortiz?
Joshua?
Heavyweight, yeah. Trilogy?
Joshua Ortiz. Which one was that?
Well, the big one that knocked him out. Knocked out Wilder.
That fat boy from LA is fighting again.
Andy Ruiz.
He's fighting on that. He looks like
Trying to set him up against
he looks like that little kid in Up. That's what he reminds me of, man. We were watching that with the kids, and I saw him, and I said, "Look, that's Andy Ruiz." And I hope he's training because he could be something special. He really does have good hands.
Yeah.
It was announced he's going to fight Jarrell Miller, but I also heard that Miller recently got arrested for robbing a bank.
Yes.
So we'll see if that
Wasn't
one
it in Miami or something like that?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
This dude's PEDs. Jamie won this round.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Canelo's running out of gas. Unless he took this round off.
I think he's taking his sweet time to throw back though. Like he's like dodging and I don't know.
What'd you say? Speak up.
I'm saying that he's taking his sweet time to go punches back. I'm saying that he's I think it's rigged.
You think it's rigged?
Yeah.
Well, boxing's been rigged forever. They do either a draw, so you can do the part 2 and get more money. Tapia was leaving his promoter, and they put the belt on Paulie Alaya.
They fucked him so bad.
So it happens. We've seen it.
Boxing.
And it's crazy because the sport has been forever, and people still tune in to these big fights, knowing that there's been.
No, that's a really good point. We were talking earlier about boxing and the other combat sports growing off the losing adventures in boxing. But when you have big boxing cards, people still shell out the money for the pay-per-view.
There's no
We're
comparison.
sitting here talking about it. Yeah, you're right. Say what you want about boxing in 2024. When there's a big fight, when there's names people know, they're going to plug down money for it.
Yeah. And these aren't cheap.
No, oh God, no.
I think what $80, $89, $90 for the HD one.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Probably, yeah.
And notice it says Canelo Promotions, Golden Boy Promotions. Then it was Mayweather Promotions.
Right.
Now you got Canelo Promotions. He's learning from them, whether he talks shit about him or not. He's learned from those older fighters. That I'd like to see them two in their prime against each other, De La Hoya and him. That'd have been awesome. And De La Hoya said that he's gonna. Oh, do you have that clip? Calling him a pussy. Let's play it real quick, just so we can talk about it.
Press conferences. We're talking about press conferences.
Yeah. So, but that's what I mean is everybody was talking about Oscar and Canelo.
Right.
If Saudis throw a ridiculous amount of money, you think Oscar won't get in shape?
How old is he right now?
Oh, I don't think about getting in shape. He'll just take the money and say, hell yeah, let's go fight right now.
Yeah.
That would be my bigger worry. Is it worth really watching?
Is Tyson and Jake Paul worth watching?
Nope.
But I'm telling you, people are going to tune in.
Yeah, I'd never buy a ticket for it. But
we're going to watch it right here.
Would I watch it on pay-per-view?
Oh, I'll tell you though, I believe at this point the skills are probably a lot more comparable with how old Tyson is and how young.
Did you hear that he stopped smoking weed so he could try and kill him? That's
Well,
what he said.
not only that, Texas tests the weed.
That video you're talking about?
I don't, what is that? What are you talking? What is
That
that?
video you're talking about?
Oh,
The video clip you're talking about.
Oh yeah, he had. I don't know why my engineer didn't have it. I sent it to him earlier in the week. He's like, yeah, I got it. Oh, there goes Canelo.
But yeah, keep in mind, dude, Texas tests for weed, so Tyson has to quit the weed. That was a problem Nick Diaz ran into in his fight with Paul.
And if you go back to the Joe Rogan interview with him, he said that's actually calmed him down. That's what's keeping him calm.
I believe it.
So it's crazy, and he said, he goes, I'm gonna be angry in this fight. I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be irritable. I wouldn't put it past Tyson to bite his ear off.
If I were Jake Paul, I'd be very insistent that Mike Tyson get high before the fight.
Yeah,
Please, I'll go in there with you. Just please.
So, and I don't think Roy Jones hyping it up. Roy Jones said that's the hardest he's ever been hit. And that goes to everybody that
I
was
knocked the fuck out of him too.
Yeah. And he said Tyson's punches, even at that age, were harder than any other boxer he's faced.
I reflected.
Yeah, put him down.
And ultimately, that's probably why they sanctioned the fight as an actual pro fight. Because
they sanctioned it
even at
because
57 years old,
got
he'll be
a
58.
lot of money.
By fight night, he'll be 58. But it's Mike Tyson, and he still hits harder than most people.
I broke my back. It's spinal. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And he was basically calling himself a pussy in that Showtime interview at the end of his career. And I'm shocked that they let him because he quit. He completely quit in that fight. He said, I'm not coming back out. I'm done. Yeah. Was he in his right mind? Probably not. Is he ever in his right mind? I don't know. I love this podcast, though.
Yeah.
It's good to listen to. Guys, tell us about your guys' podcast. CageBuyers.com. They can go to the podcast link. Let us know what you guys do.
We have MMA After Hours. Hear us review every event, preview every event, bring up the latest news and topics from around the MMA and a little bit in the bare knuckle world. And then we also have Pro Wrestling After Hours.
Yep.
Everything in the world of WWE.
And does that go after events or is that weekly? What is that?
Both shows are up weekly. You can find MMA After Hours every
Tuesday, Pro Wrestling After Hours every Wednesday.
And then what radio stations are you guys affiliated with? And what shows? Go ahead and share with us.
So you can find me, ESPN Radio, Albuquerque 1017, The Team, Saturday mornings, Mike Adams 2.0.
Yep. You can find me on News Radio KKOB and the afternoons of TV Trial.
Awesome. And as always, you can find the Beatdown in 60 on 99.9 FM, The Beat.
Fast hands.
Yes.
Straight shots. Canelo power firing back though.
Have we seen this in boxing where they actually did that for a while? Like,
Stood there and traded.
yeah, it's
That
amazing.
little bit, get in there and exchange.
What do you look at your phone for, youngster? Watch the fight. I want to see that Cat Williams live tonight on Netflix.
Yeah.
Is that what?
All
What
is
times are
going
they go live now? Because I know that's still a work in process for Netflix.
They're also going live. They might have started last night for a week with who's the Canadian?
And then tomorrow
Mulaney,
they're
Judge John Mulaney. So yeah, they're slowly working in more.
They're going to what are you crying for?
I heard his body.
Oh, he felt
Oh, he
low
did
blow
this.
Come on.
No!
Come on.
He got hit low. Jamie got hit low 2 rounds ago.
Right,
He didn't
yeah.
complain.
You know, you gotta,
Body,
work the reps
body.
you can. If you've learned anything from the NBA.
We're back in the room. Holy shit. I gotta put this shit out, bro.
And if you're ever chewing it loud, it's allergy season. I can't breathe out my nose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you might put him down.
Yeah.
Canelo's getting hurt.
And that's the thing with Canelo. He always fades in the later rounds. Always. In these last fights, I don't know if it's age or he's not training as hard. They always say you wake up in those silk sheets and wearing your championship belts. It's hard to get up to train.
And this is a guy that's worn like velvet to the arena, so you know he's touching the laps of luxury.
There's a young, hungry lion, and I'm talking with food in my mouth, but
Yeah, who is that name? I mean, is it the Crawford fight? Is that what would be next for Canelo? I know about
If he loses,
the
no.
Saudi people.
if he loses, no. Bless you. Who would you want to see Crawford against? Crawford's been itching for it. He's calling him out.
Yo, Fibbo's going him out. Crawford. I heard he'll get his ass kicked.
Yeah. Guys that are smaller than Crawford
Yeah.
are calling him out. It's hard to see anybody bigger than
Those
him.
guys would get creamed.
Canelo's been running for Benavidez. I want to see that fight. That's the one I think he'll get him.
Then are you doing the lockouts?
I think Crawford will get his ass kicked.
I should have brought the other TV guys. I'm sorry. I listened
Double
to
screen this.
I listened to Dom and Monica over here. They cut hair. I should have asked you guys.
Let's see.
Who's that? Oh, that's Tank. He hides from people too. I'd like to see him fight Ryan, but
Tank
actually,
versus Ryan.
but actually at a good weight.
Hey, so how tainted is the win now that we have the positive PED test?
And he asked for him to put it as a.
But I don't think it is because a lot of the fighters have been getting popped for that in their supplements.
Oh, okay.
And he asked for it to be overturned. The win.
Of course.
I would
do it.
tested and we'll see if they can go through the whole finding what supplement
But if
was tainted. If there
and
was
I guess it's been in multiple supplements of that same company, and MMA fighters and boxers have been testing positive for that same thing. So it may not hold weight.
Oh, okay. We shall see.
If anything, I thought he was going to pop for cocaine, weed, alcohol. Because he said it. He said it in the press conference. I partied my face off every night. I went out.
But how important is intent? I mean, I get it. It probably gives you some leniency as far as punishment, but as far as the fight itself, if it's in your body, it's in your body, whether you did it on purpose or not.
Yeah.
That might be a reason he is 3 pounds heavy.
No. And what's his name? Bocos. What's his real name? The guy that came last week. He's right. Floyd Mayweather told him to come up 3 pounds heavier, and he'll take the fight. Which is crazy because I didn't think those 3 pounds would make a big difference. But again, go back to Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm.
Right.
135 when they weighed in, 160 that night. That's what Kayla weighed. As you try to wrestle with her. Are you kidding me? You probably weighed 140.
No surprise when we saw the size of those arms that night that you were 160
That's
pounds.
a new champion. I don't care. There ain't nobody there that's going to stop her.
No.
I didn't think Amanda Nunes, if she comes back, would give her even. I think she'll end her in 1 round.
Amanda 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. Amanda now.
Holly 4 or 5 years ago would have outboxed her.
Probably, yeah.
She wouldn't have. Now you see her coming. She's and then she throws the punch, and it's like, why are you telegraphing yourself? You're a professional boxer, and you're letting these people know when you're coming. It's weird.
It is.
10th round, I think Jamie's in control. Getting off the domination. Oh, absolutely he is right now. In these rounds, I'm not saying earlier because we didn't watch those. Uh-oh. You guys better get your internet game going.
Sure, I'm still good.
See, he's getting those combinations off on him. You want a biscochito for the road? New Texaco. She hates biscochitos, guys, by the way.
Yeah, we remember last time.
Texas hates. That's why I brought him. Oh, I'm gonna eat him now that you're gone. I can eat him. Be careful. I think Jamie won that round too. How many rounds is Canelo up by though? Well, they're in between rounds.
Decisively for him to even get a half a decision here.
There you boys go. Combat Sports. Next time there's a fight. In fact, next weekend. I'll just double check with Dom and we'll see. But I'll bring another TV and we'll make sure it's picture.
See if we're able to get the BKFC 61 and the UFC Fight Night St. Louis going at one time.
Might as well. Yeah.
Probably some knockouts in both of them, especially with Buckley in the co-main event and Lewis in the main event.
You guys know where he's at?
So,
I don't have the keys either.
I'm not going to see if he slouches all over himself on the phone.
I think he's a live dog. Like we said, he's the bigger flyweight here. If he's able to be active in the pocket, I like his chances. It looked like Pantoja's Friday on the scale needed the curtain to make weight, so we're not sure how he rehydrated, but it does feel like that was a rough one. And Pantoja, how we were talking about Canelo, is someone that tends to slow in the 4th and 5th rounds.
I will say, that despite the weight cut issues, he looks like the bigger fighter right now. So, and he doesn't look like he's feeling the effects of the weight cut, but we'll see as this fight goes on how his stamina is.
Yeah, opposite of the heavyweights, it feels like the flyweight fights, you always want to bet the over in the round and distance. Now there's the problem. That was a pretty easy takedown for Pantoja. Ursic's cutting his hairline. Something.
Hey, birthday boy, what are you doing?
We're on our way.
Are you? Time to bring a piece. Hey, don't forget the key. You're live on the air, so we'll see. We're right here watching the UFC and Canelo. Canelo's getting his ass kicked in the later rounds. All right, see you soon. He looks that bad. He's 40. And I messed up. I went to go buy him a 40 yesterday. I bought him a 24 ounce.
Q Pantoja, are you feeling the pressure of not wanting to be the guy to lose to the 10th ranked guy in your division?
Yes. Talk about the upset. It's a pretty big upset.
Who's next at 25? This is 25, right? See, that's what I mean. Is I don't know. Like, nothing about.
You've got Royval and Moreno,
but as long as Royval's healthy, mends up from that injury, I think he'd be next. But he did have that loss in December to Pantoja, so
that's going to be a problem the further down you go. Hector France, I don't believe is coming off a win. He's at 4. You got Abbasi at 3.
Who's next for Sugar Sean?
That has to be Marab.
Yeah.
That has to be Marab, and they've even talked about possibly doing that one for 306 for In the Spear alongside of Shevchenko Grasso, but more likely that one ends up at like 307, I'm guessing, or something.
So after Connor retires and John these guys that actually bring the pay-per-view guys, who is coming up that's going to be the pay-per-view draw?
Well, that's the beauty of the UFC. How they find Alex Pereira. I mean, 3 fights in the UFC, and he was fighting for a world title, and 5 fights in, he's a pay-per-view
Who's
draw.
going to upset him?
Tom Aspinall might, and then Tom Aspinall might become the next big pay-per-view draw, because after what he did to Sergey Pavlich, it's kind of hard-pressed for me to believe that Tom Aspinall can't beat everybody.
I don't think he has any desire to, but if he wanted to, John Jones could probably fight at heavyweight for another 8 or 10 years. I just think that
The age, yeah.
you're right, from the age standpoint. Now, I think the Pereiras, the Aspinalls, that probably goes a lot further to cutting that short than that. But I mean, I think just to move from light heavyweight to heavyweight, if he so desires, he could fight for a longer time. So you may not have to answer that question as soon as you might think. But
I don't think he wants to fight anymore.
I don't either. I think he probably has some interest in, after he beats Stipe, assuming he beats Stipe, fighting either Pereira or Aspinall. But after that, I don't know what's left that's really all that enticing for him.
What would be? Like, who would be a draw?
Who won? Canelo?
They're still going.
Last one.
12th round.
Who can the UFC bring back?
Oh, if you're talking to bring back, I mean, it's still the obvious distractions he got here.
Even though he got brutally knocked out the way he did?
That being said, I don't see that happening. But you never know. I think it's far more likely somebody rises up who you're not thinking about right now.
And I was trying to think about it, but then when he talked about Alex, I'm like, he might stick around for one more.
Yeah.
But wouldn't that be something if he knocks out John?
Did you see that Rogan against with Max Holloway?
I saw some of it.
Did you see what I was talking about? With
Say it.
no?
Say it.
I don't remember Jamal Hill. How he got.
Oh, we watched it. No. So they're saying, yeah, but it wasn't. So did you hear that? I wanted to talk to you about that because I rewatched it like 3 times here at the shop.
Watching the Rogan show.
So I guess there was a low blow. Alex tells him to the thing that changed when they slapped hands.
Yeah.
They really you're fighting.
Yeah.
And they're saying that he cheap shotted him.
There was talking about that night, actually. I don't think he did anything wrong. Now,
he got
would have been more gentlemanly to
But once you touch
hands, take a step back.
Once you
like a
touch
Mayweather
gloves, you
Ortiz
go.
type
Oh, no,
fight.
And I've
absolutely.
seen other guys, honestly, they'll go like this,
Oh, yeah. See, I've seen that as well.
and they'll go right and right. And it's dirty shit that they do that. But
Look, it was also in that moment very obvious that Pereira didn't want any stoppage at all. He waved the ref off. No, let's keep going. Let's keep going. He was focused. I'm not 100% sure how this fight's going to turn out.
Oh no, it's going the distance, and I'm sure I know who's winning the
I think it's going to Canelo.
Canelo,
But I think he was winning the first round, right?
if he wasn't.
He wasn't?
Even if he wasn't, it's still going to Canelo.
he wasn't winning it, he's still winning it. I want to see that
Vegas.
card.
This is in Vegas.
Well, not only that, but Canelo Promotions. Although, I will say, Oscar De La Hoya versus Felix Trinidad.
Oh yeah, you're right. And he did fuck with De La Hoya. He might have a point.
Well, not only that, but Felix fucked up Oscar. I don't give a fuck. And, or was it Oscar that beat? Oh no, Oscar beat Felix, beat the brakes off Felix, and Felix won the fight.
No.
That was his last fight with Top Rank. Yes, it was. Now you want to talk about dirty shit? It's the same thing. Let's see who won.
Talking
Oh,
about dirty shit.
well, boxing.
Tapia versus fucking.
Yeah.
He stole that fight.
Here we go.
That's my money. That's my money.
Micah, why do the dogs always attack you whenever you got stuff food? The other dog sat right there watching you. This little one coming at you.
Trying to figure out why the stop was chewing on plastic earlier.
Uh-oh, hey. Really? There's plastic. She has plastic. Why do you think they run these events at the same time? I hate that.
A lack of regard for the consumer.
Who do you think it hurts worse, UFC or in this case Canelo Promotions?
I don't think it hurts Canelo.
I think it hurts.
And I don't think it hurts the
UFC
UFC because they purposely went to Brazil.
True.
They usually do that too.
But
They're out of
if
the country
you're-
when it happens.
Us aside, most people are always spending money on one or the other.
Right.
So you spend more on Canelo because
So I think
hey, in 4 weeks there'll be another UFC pay-per-view, or
I think the Mexican market will.
or is it more of hey, UFC's there for me every month, I'm spending my money there. This isn't big enough for me to spend my money on instead.
Now, I don't know if you guys were here. I can't remember, but I was telling these guys that the UFC opened the PI in Mexico, and everybody's like, "Oh, Dana White's so amazing. He's letting the kids come in and train for free." He's finding his Canelo. He's finding his Julio Cesar Chavez.
And look, I'm sure there's some niceness in his heart in doing it, but he's not doing it just to be nice.
Could you imagine if he had a Canelo? We're talking Conor, and Conor won't hold anything to a Canelo in terms of pay-per-view. So if he could just find one, holy shit. Does that change the game for TKO UFC?
100%. Yeah.
You want to see who's winning? Well, here's one.
I would.
Hey, do you have that? Do you have that clip? Can you play it real quick while they're doing their commentary? Just you took it down. Yeah. My engineer's failing tonight. Really, you didn't give him no special sauce. It's crazy how many people have to get in the ring in boxing and MMA.
Right.
But
Thank you very
in
much,
MMA,
for being here.
No, I want to hear
Truly
the
believe it will be the
Canelo one where he calls him a pussy.
The Canelo one?
Yeah.
I think Usyk took the second round. If anybody cares, we might be 1-1 on the UFC main event. Takes forever for them to read the scorecards here for Canelo.
Well, I'm sorry, say that again.
I said 1-1 in the UFC, but they're taking forever to read the scorecards here.
The only thing is with MMA that I don't understand, the hugs and kisses before the guys get in the ring. I've never understood that. And I even tell them when it gives
Some points Gracie team.
Fuck that guy.
Oh yeah, Canelo fucking.
Fuck that guy, bro.
Let's cut it too late.
Fuck no.
Canelo, unanimous decision.
In the same breath, does that hurt James? I don't think it does.
It shouldn't. It's not the best fighter or the biggest draw in boxing.
Yeah.
You were expected to lose. And
1919 is what they're saying.
yeah, 1919. We're going one round apiece in the UFC. Usyk shut down the
Don't play it
takedown.
now. Engineer.
We're past this.
Boo! Play the boo. Especially with you wearing that ugly jersey.
Hey.
That must
First
be.
thing I saw when I pulled up,
NFC
I'm still in my
champs.
car. I was
NFC
getting away, and I
champs.
seen
You see that?
Kittle's jersey. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I almost turned around and went home.
Future WWE
Wow,
superstar.
it's no worse than this Dukes.
Oh, easy now. Easy.
Micah, take control of the podcast. I gotta go pee-pee.
Steve Usyk, still look at these boxing combinations. He's fluid in the pocket. He's giving Pantoja a fight here, and Pantoja is not consistently getting his takedown, and that's what was troubling me. We could see number 10 with the upset tonight. And Pantoja, this has been like digging down deep to be the champion. What we've seen him go through against Moreno, against Royval, they've been some long, grueling fights.
Well, I'm curious your thoughts on this. The thing that makes Pantoja what he is also makes him susceptible here. I'm going to eat a lot of damage so I can give out a lot of damage. The problem is whether it's the top-ranked guy in your division or the 10th ranked like Usyk, that gives whoever he's in the ring with or in the cage with a fighting chance.
Yeah, he never makes it easy on himself.
Right.
We've only seen him go to his jiu-jitsu and look dominant with him on a few occasions. So yeah, it makes him an exciting fighter, but it makes Usyk a much more realistic underdog in the betting sense than you would expect, being number 10. Like, I think the UFC still didn't even give us odds. They had to fight as a pick'em, and I'm like, wow, this is champion against 10. You'd figure that'd be a pretty sizable bet.
Oh, yeah.
40 plus 25 plus 20. You do the math.
I'm a man of my word, bro.
And for Usyk, I guess, I think there's a part where it's just free, where maybe I'm not supposed to be here. I'm fighting for house money.
Probably, yeah.
I didn't think I was going to get this title shot, this opportunity. Why not say yes? What does it hurt me if I go out there and lose?
Yeah. Pantoja, by the way, did I say only? He was only a minus 190 favorite. Usyk was a plus 160 underdog.
Yeah, that's not wild numbers considering the experience gap.
And the ratings gap.
Yeah, the rate. Oh. Usyk got caught with one. Pantoja and then a takedown. But Pantoja's bleeding now too.
We're not going on video.
There was a good elbow, but there was a short right hand.
Pick up one of those fire sticks for me.
And yeah, no.
Fire sticks for me.
You get one and I'll bring it to
Oh,
you.
that elbow, yeah, from Usyk. Cut right across. And then it was coming back.
Right before that elbow,
Yeah,
too.
and he landed a left hand. But
I thought they were going
back
with the
with
Kurt
right.
Brooks. What happened to that?
We're done. One more event. Next pay-per-view in New Jersey is when we get the new gloves. If you look on Twitter, UFC fighter Garrett Armfield, actually, the best example I've seen, he put up his hands. Here, I'm wearing the new glove on my left, the old glove on the right, and you can just see how much bigger the glove on the right hand was. I'm not sure about the curvature still yet, but...
The ounce is the same?
I think that the new gloves are going to be slightly lighter depending on the weight class. Because I think there's less padding, so they might be just under 4 ounces now for the flyweights and slightly above, like 4 ounces for the heavyweights, just with the amount of padding in them.
Why? Did they give a reason?
Just the amount of padding that they took out, and then just the surface area of how big a heavyweight's hand is, that from like a small glove to a 5X glove, that there's like this 0.1 or 2 or 0.3 ounce variance.
I thought the only one that was 5X, 2 guys. The guy from Colorado, I forget his name.
Shane Carwin.
Yeah, Shane Carwin and Brock Lesnar.
I think that Alex's hand, Tom Aspinall's hand, there's a couple guys that they said they have now on the roster that also have these behemoth grips.
Interesting. Are they going to get bigger and bigger guys? And do you think that the guys that don't make like the NFL will go to that to come try MMA like a...
I've been wondering about that for a while, but we saw like last week in Julian Lane, he's kind of had mixed results. He's 12-4, so as a regional heavyweight, he's done fine, but some of these athletes just don't look like fighters, and I know you know what I mean when I say that.
Yep.
They get hit, and there's just a different reaction to being in the
No
heat.
matter how tough you are, like football-wise, hitting like that, that's one thing. Getting punched in the mouth is another thing.
Absolutely.
And that's not for everyone. That was one of Brock Lesnar's things. I don't like getting hit in the face.
When he was dominating, he was great.
Well, when he got
he
cut,
was shelled.
yeah, once he got cut, he freaked out.
Yeah.
The guy from Barbershop.
And, but I noticed that a lot of these linemen that they took had a wrestling background. It was interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of them. What was it? Defense that they use their hands? I'm sorry, guys. I don't really watch a lot of football.
No, it's more offense, I think.
Yeah,
They use your hands because you.
So those are the guys that majority of them wrestle. And so that's why I asked that. I found that fascinating.
How successful can you be in MMA with just a wrestling background? Like no martial arts discipline and maybe not a great boxer.
Wrestlers always have that heavy right hand because they are not afraid
And
to take it down.
Yeah. for every Ben Askren, who had quite the career, being fairly one-dimensional, not that many other guys can do that at that high of a level.
Yeah, well, you had a Randy Couture pure wrestler and Ken UFC champion. Shane Carwin, interim champion, almost knocked him out. Cain Velasquez, ASU.
Yeah.
Cain Velasquez, Daniel Cormier, Mark Kerr, Mark Coleman.
The funniest thing.
But those were wrestling, full focus on wrestling. You got a wrestling background, but if you were playing football at a collegiate level, that was taking up the most of you. I mean, you're right. I hear you.
We got Juan Adams here locally, UFC, at D1. And we've seen him have mixed results in his MMA career. And he was an elite level wrestler, Air Force Academy. For college, so it wasn't like that was no slap. We've seen varied results, and now also we're talking about that. You also have the WWE with their NIL deals, their next in line deals, where they're identifying B-level, C-level college athletes with that look, with that charisma, who can possibly transition over, like a Braun Breaker who was I forget what his real name is.
He looks like his dad and sounds like his uncle.
And he was drafted in the NFL to play fullback for the Ravens, couldn't make it, and was identified to go over.
Did he play for Minnesota also? Or
maybe he played for the University.
Michigan.
I don't know if he went to Michigan or not. Obviously, his dad and uncle.
I just can't remember. Rex Steiner is his real last name. I can't remember. Maybe it was Braun is his first name. But either way, so we've seen those guys, they're not just the opportunity to go to MMA. WWE is looking to create superstars, so that also is, you're fishing in the same pond, kind of. And I wonder if that dilutes it a little bit. Would you rather go try MMA, or would you rather go try WWE?
Do you think there'll be crossover more with those guys that actually have a legitimate background and want to go in there?
I think it's more of a one-way street. If you see any, as far as like a UFC guy in a WWE ring instead of a WWE guy trying to fight someone in MMA.
So Brock is kind of the minority. And Pride isn't gonna. I mean, you had that Alberto guy get beat up in Pride, right?
Roberto Del Rio. We've had CM Punk crossover. Matt Riddle's made it to WWE on the other side. I just think it's very few occasions where it's going to be applicable to see them do it. And I don't think you're going to want, on the other side, if you're WWE, real violence to happen to any of your really marketable stars. You're never going to put Roman Reigns in a cage, like, for instance. Like, he makes too much money for you.
Acknowledge me. When do you think he's coming back?
SummerSlam?
Maybe Survivor Series.
I think that other guy's already kind of wearing down.
Maybe.
What do you think?
Thank you. I've kind of been over him for a little bit myself. I mean, he is coming off of the best characterization of his role, being the tribal chief, acknowledge him.
No, I'm talking about Cody.
Oh.
He's already getting boring. To me.
I think he's a different kind of baby face than what we've had for a while, and impossible shoes to fill.
WWE traditionally has always been the company that had the babyface champion. The problem is these days there's excitement in the chase, but once the babyface gets the title, then what? So my guess is he keeps the title for a while because we've got bigger plans in play with Roman and with Brock. But in a perfect world, you probably wouldn't want him to have a long title reign because there's more money in chasing the title than winning it and then defending it.
And again, we're mixing them because TKO. And I believe there's going to be bigger crossover later on down the road between the two.
But do you think that the crossover will be?
I think
you think it's great for MMA though?
Yes.
I think it's better. I think it's better for WWE though.
It's already showing because they're booking in California Friday and Saturday. For Friday for the SmackDown WWE, Saturday for the UFC. Then they're saying they're going to do a Saturday MMA and a pay-per-view on Sunday, potentially.
Well, they already did, like today. WWE was in France this morning, put on a premium live event. Then you get the UFC tonight. So they're putting them either in positions where you can watch one after the other or be in the same city for adjoining days. So they're complementary rather than going against each other.
And so that was done on purpose. I noticed that they had that this morning.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are they doing this so early?
Yeah, that's why.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I think with the crossover between them, it only benefits both. Sure. It only benefits both. And you're seeing it because they're getting more money. They're getting offered more money for venues and interviews now.
Well, you know where the money's at.
Yeah.
You absolutely know where the money's at. TKO is where the money is
Where are the
at.
scorecards at?
Huh?
What round are we
Round
at?
5, Pantoja with the takedown. It could have been
10-9
anybody's
is what
fight.
they're saying on Twitter or X.
Oh, 3-1 Usyk. Some people saying Pantoja bleeding. In a good position at least here.
How come he's not punching?
I don't see him losing the belt on the cards in Brazil, but
No, not in Brazil.
not in Brazil. But there hasn't been a lot of sustained offense for Pantoja. There's been a lot of good back and forth exchanges.
And Barber Dom finally joins us.
Yes, thank you.
Owner of
Happy
Dapper
birthday.
Barber Parlor. Happy birthday.
Thank you. I had a surprise birthday party that I had no clue that was going on.
Yeah. Dapper Barber Parlor. Tell us where they're located and tell us where they can get a hold of you.
5836 Osuna Road Northeast. Come by. 545-884-4647 if you would like to.
Is that too many numbers?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
How many did you have?
At least
A couple?
15.
Just a couple.
Yes. Anyway, look us up on Google. Dapper Barber Parlor. On Google.
Usyk sat on Pantoja's chest.
It's his birthday.
Please, I'm trying to have a good time. You know what? Josh didn't even show up on his birthday party.
I know. He never said. Thank God for Micah and his cell phone.
Hey,
We were able to
we
get
were
going
doing that
somehow.
on our
Yeah.
own, brother. I showed up very late.
Round 5.
Steve Usyk might lose, but he'll probably wake up with a number higher than 10 next to his name.
Roy Ball get next.
Still think Royval gets next. Injury situation, lack of challengers. Who knows with the UFC schedule? They got a lot of international destinations that they have planned over the next
Why wouldn't you take him knowing that you get a draw in Colorado?
because the UFC is, I think, more internationally focused. Oh, Usyk with another elbow cutting Pantoja, now over the right eye.
And what do you think about this pay for play? So if you don't pay the state or however the venue, they don't come to your town anymore.
What, really?
Yeah, the UFC.
I mean, if you can do it, it's like you're seeing WWE do that more and more. So no, it's smart. If you can get cities to bid on your events or offer you money to come here, we'll give you this if you'll come here once a year for 3 years. Why wouldn't you do that?
WrestleMania Allegiant Stadium next year, Las Vegas.
So do they pay for it also?
Yes, it's a combination of visitors bureaus and things like that.
Yeah, visit out there. You actually put some money up for the UFC, and then they also combined it when they went to Rio Rancho. And then Rio Rancho pitched in, and the state of New Mexico pitched in. So,
Hey, Micah, how often is WrestleMania?
once a year, right?
Every year.
That's once a year.
Yeah, it's once a year.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So that's why you were talking about it being at the Las Vegas Raiders Stadium.
Yeah, next year.
No shit.
Coming off of where they just had it in Philadelphia at the Eagles Stadium. The year before that was
I think. But yeah.
So this is a huge event, which is taking over UFC, BKFC, and all these other events. Like TKO is taking them all over, right? Or are they in conjunction with each other?
TKO right now is the owners of WWE and the UFC.
Okay.
They look like they're going to be
XFL. Do you think, Michael? Do you think they should have kept XFL as the name?
For the USA or
Yes, because good or bad, there's name recognition.
When I put in
I have no idea what the name of it even is.
But if you do that, ESPN.com, it goes to the University of Florida. Oh wow!
Really?
University. It goes to one of the Florida schools.
Hey, check that out. Put that in. Why did you guys do that? Let's see.
UFL.com.
Yeah, it does.
UFL, University of
Yeah, it takes you to Florida education.
So you have to put in
United
Football.com.
The UFL is the
No way.
XFL. That's crazy.
Something that's recognizable, something you do better or worse. It has some.
I love the concept of
recognition.
those two together. Keep it XFL.
Exactly. You had name recognition there.
And I've watched a few of them. It's entertaining. They make decent plays. It's
UFL.
It's better than the Canadian Football League.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's better than a 49ers game.
Definitely better than the 49ers. They should bring up the champions from there and replace these guys.
Hey.
Exactly.
Why don't you give that chant? That one chant. That the Niners chant. You know what? Ask Monaco to do it.
We're going to a quick break.
What about the chant?
The 49ers chant.
What's the chant?
There you go.
Bang, bang, no Super Bowl ring.
I think
3-0.
Man,
That's not a legit.
I thought we had a new champion.
You know what?
They're about to read the decision that says "and still."
Bang, bang, no Super Bowl ring.
Catching me
That fucking sucks, though.
And still champion.
Do you think he sold pay-per-views, or was it Jose Aldo?
Jose Aldo sold the pay-per-view.
Why do you need this title fight on it? That was my point earlier.
Because UFC pay-per-views always need UFC title fights, unless Conor McGregor. That's just how they do it.
Do you believe that this should have been a fight night fight?
No, it would have been a better pay-per-view if they could have got the original
come on,
UFC
man.
300.
This should have been a
Alex
fight
the headliner.
night fight. This should have been a fight night.
This would have been a throwback to some of those FS1.
This fight specifically,
ESPN Plus,
probably.
See? That's what I'm saying. It's a fight night fight, guaranteed.
The fight itself delivered. Yeah, it's hard to say number 1 versus number 10.
Oh, this was an exciting card, dude.
I know.
The names suck. Like you mentioned in the beginning, we weren't excited about it. But top to bottom, I mean, was this
very entertaining.
Was this and the co-main event were the only ones that went to the end?
Yeah.
Everything was a knockout. No shit.
Finish.
What, like submission?
Knockout. Was the majority knockout, right?
Hey, check this out though. Think about this right now. Do you guys feel?
Mika Frankl. Shakecars.com. Was on the main card. How many submissions? How many knockouts?
We have a knockout, 2 submissions, and these last 2 were decisions on the main card. We'll see.
The prelims. All knockouts? Was it?
Oh, prelims, we had the middle prelims, 3 decisions, 1 knockout. Early prelims, we had 2 knockouts and 2 decisions. So we still had a pretty good balance throughout the night, enough finishes to keep you
I was about to make a
entertained.
point, and then I'm like, this guy just says there's 50-50 on the knockouts and the submissions. You know, I was just about to say that the knockouts are getting more prevalent in this game, but maybe not. What was it, 50-50? Right? Half and half? Knockouts
Roughly,
and
yeah.
submissions?
Yeah, 2. We had 4 on the knockouts and 2 on the submissions.
See what I mean? People with heavier hands are starting to make their way in the game.
Well, and still 301. Canelo won. Any closing thoughts from you, Mr.
Canelo
Carlyle?
won as well?
If I'm Steve Erceg, I feel like I got ripped off, but I'm the only one who cares. I being Erceg, nobody else cares. And yeah, Canelo wins again.
Wow.
And
Into that
Mr.
fight.
Mika Frankl.
I thought it was
That was a close fight. That was hard to score. Pantoja had more control. Erceg did more damage, and Jose Aldo is back and as good almost as ever, it looks like.
Where do they find you guys during the week? Give us your plugs.
CageMinds.com, and then be on the lookout Tuesday, MMA After Hours, Wednesday, Pro Wrestling After Hours.
There you go.
Always find us or CageMinds.com, ZiaShirts.com. Check it out. This is the Beatdown with Friends live for 301 and the Canelo and Alvarez boxing event. We'll see you next time.
Look, the dog bars come to me too.
Dude, get the fuck away from me.
You done?
Yeah.
Is that the final fight?
City, they riding with me. Yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow. This for the 505, always ready to ride. Red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow. Everyone's in my town, everything. Yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow.
If the last two fights finished in they were finishes,
Across the yellow flag. What's going on in Canada? That's
Yes, next week. Daniel Strauss, Jimmy Rivera main event.
Like,
No,
my puppy.